Welcome to Two Nobodies with a Mic. Consider safe. Great job, 49ers.
The five best players ever in the NBA, Kobe Bryant is not one of them.
Ralph, you can't say anywhere that he doesn't belong in the league. Give me that amount of money, and I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Josh Allen will never make the playoffs again.
The SEC is straight trash.
This fool was a crumb bum.
Oh, he was in one of those vests? Yeah. What's up, everybody, and how's everyone doing out there tonight? Welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 112, where the players dwell. How's everyone doing out there, guys? We are live on YouTube. Are we live on Instagram? Are we live on anything else, Eddie Money, or just?
Oh, my bad. I forgot to do that.
Or just YouTube tonight? Yeah. All right. But how's everyone doing? Episode 112. Last night, if you joined us, we went all over college football, got into some stuff, got into some heated arguments, and had a really good time. But guys, we are the gambling show of record. We are not afraid to talk about gambling. But we only have one rule on this show. Eddie Money, do you know what that rule is? Tell the people.
Do not be a loser.
Do not be a loser, right? Play at your own risk. And play responsibly. Let's go to the introductions. Eddie Money, executive producer of the show. How you doing, Papa?
Pretty good today.
You
done
look
with finals. Submitted my last one last night. Looking forward to a break now.
Yes. I don't know what we're gonna do when Eddie Money becomes a real engineer, not a podcast engineer.
Just audio engineer.
We also have Rafa, the guru. The man who gives us all your plays and controversy and not afraid to talk his shit. Professional shit talker. Can I say professional shit talker, Rafa?
It's on the
100%.
And then we have a special guest 2 nights in a row. Actually, a professional journalist. You know,
Yeah.
very just a
Kinda.
notch below or above professional shit talker. We have Mr. Ryan Holmes. Ryan Holmes is here joining us, blessing us with his presence. How you doing, Ryan?
Good to be back, gentlemen. Good to be back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we're going to go over some NFL. We're going to get into all kinds of good stuff. So a little bit of baseball. You can even do basketball if we have a little time. But let's get into it right away. Every week we do You Are Fired or You Are Hired. And it's depending how you're feeling this week. Just let us know in the group chat. If you have anyone that you'd like to promote or you'd like to go ahead. Let us know in the chat. Eddie Money will let us know, and then we'll give you a shout out and let us know who you want to hire or fire. First of all, who's digging the cutoff hoodie, man? Come on, man. In honor of the GOAT, of the real GOAT. But who wants to start with You're Hired or You're Fired?
I'll start.
All right.
I want to fire the University of North Carolina for hiring an old ass man. Another old ass motherfucker. All right. That's all it did was hire one old man, fire an old man, hire another one. And everyone who thinks that they are a top 25 program, you should be fired as well. Because they are not. It's not even close. So, but that's who should be fired. You got hired today. I'm firing your ass today.
Wow. Wow.
Come on, it's a youth movement. It's a youth movement. They fired a guy born in 53 and they hired a guy born in 52.
Yeah, they get younger. They're getting younger.
Oh, that's too good, Rafa. I should have known. I set that shit up on the tee for your ass. That was too easy.
Too easy.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go. I'll jump in. I'm firing this congressman or this representative in Ohio that introduced a bill that would make flag planting just at Ohio State Stadium a felony. I get the premise of not wanting to see teams fight after a game, but to make flag planting a felony, like, yeah, respect the logo, but come on, like, let's be real here. Let's be real. Flag planting a felony is disgusting.
Yeah, that's great. That has my stamp of approval. I mean, that's approved. That is ridiculous. I did see that. I mean, we talked about it, Ryan. I mean, that week was so great. There was so much. Just that's why we love. I mean, NFL doesn't have that. NFL doesn't have that deep-rooted, family divided, civil war, state line boundaries rivalry. And although it got a little out of hand, it reminded us why we love college football.
Yeah, I mean, if the NCAA wants to do something about flag planting, fine. You know, I mean, the dumbest thing that they did was the horns down BS. That was stupid for that to be a penalty. But like, if they want to do something about flag planting just because it's in the essence of sportsmanship, fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine if you want to come in over the top, but for some government representative to just be upset that Ohio State can't beat Michigan for the fourth year in a row and you want to introduce a bill, like, you have better shit to do. You really do. I'm pretty sure that there's better shit you should be putting your time to in Ohio than introducing a bill to make it a felony for a team to plant a freaking flag.
I mean,
they should look more into, if they want to get involved in sports, they should look into firing Zach Taylor from Cincinnati.
How about Chip Kelly? How about Chip Kelly? Like I've been saying
that
all
too.
year.
Get those congressmen involved in fucking firing those turds and fucking worry about some kids planting a goddamn flag.
Yeah,
great firing.
Great firing. Eddie Money, go ahead, because
two great firings so far.
Yeah. Don't screw it up, Eddie Money. No pressure.
This is heavy. Michael Brown said Eddie Money made his bed today. It's going to be a good show. I would like to point out my bed is always made for every show.
I mean, at least 2 days in a row, we know the bed's been made.
Thank you.
2 days in a row.
But everything's just stuff on his dresser in the corner, though. If you can see that.
It's all away.
Real quick, just a fun fact about that bed. it's had more men on it than women. Just so you know, that is an actual fact. The more you know. Doon, doon, doon.
I live with my mama, man.
I'm just saying. He didn't deny it. Let's go
He's a
on.
man's
everybody.
man.
Man's man. I'm not firing one. I'm actually gonna hire someone. Or give props to at least. I'm gonna give props to Juan Soto. He just got a 15-year, $765 million contract to the Mets. But I'm promoting him for the reason that just 2 years ago he got a 15-year, $440 million contract from the Nationals and turned that down and was willing to like bet on himself and got 2 years later, a contract worth $300 million more, which is insane.
Here's Michael Brown. Here's Michael Brown.
Michael Brown said, "I'd fire the Mets. That's my firing."
I hate to bring this up, Michael Brown, but I wanted to save mine for last because it is about Juan Soto. I want to fire the haterism, the hating culture that is baseball and baseball fans. Guys, there is no cap. You know, when Shohei got his deal, all you heard was hate, hate, hate. Oh, look at that, whatever. You know, that contract absolutely made sense. You know, besides the money that is deferred, 10 years down the road, Dodgers have signed over almost $500 million worth in TV deals and contracts with Japanese companies. I mean, they are making that money back tenfold. And although I'm not a huge fan of Juan Soto, if he were to come to the Dodgers for $500 million, I wouldn't have poo-pooed it. He's not the best fielder. So what? He got paid $765 million. You know, you're worth what you get paid. The man got paid. Stop hating on him. By the way, Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, he's worth $21 freaking billion. Okay? Yankee fans, stop crying. You got beat up by $5 million. I don't have any hate for Juan Soto. I don't have any hate for the Mets. I'm happy for Juan Soto. Get your money, man. If someone wants to give you that money for being a shitty outfielder and a good hitter, then props to you. Then props to you. But everyone with Dodgers are buying everyone. Mets are buying everyone. Dodgers, by the way, had the 5th highest payroll last year. Yeah. They're not even projected next year to have the highest payroll.
Even though they have nearly $1 billion in deferred money, which is insane.
Yeah, it is insane. It's insane or it's genius. Which one is it? I don't know. But
it's insanely genius.
It's 100% genius.
Football, there's a cap. Basketball, there's a cap. Go get your money. There's no cap. Every owner in Major League Baseball has the opportunity to do exactly what the Mets are doing, to do exactly what the Dodgers are doing. Your ownership group or your ownership just isn't that committed to freaking winning. That's it. So stop the hating baseball. Juan Soto, congratulations. Do your stupid shuffle. Get a shit ton of walks. But, that's going to be a tough place to play outfield in that yard. He needed a short porch. And that's why I thought the Yankees were good for him. But, like Michael Brown. Sorry, Michael Brown. I'm firing your ass. I'm firing you for hating on the contract.
Michael Brown says, who turns the TV on to watch Soto? Nobody.
I agree. I don't either. But that's not my issue. When I remember when the Raiders gave John Gruden $10 million, I got so much shit. He's not worth $10 million. He's not this. I'm like, so what? It's not your money, and it doesn't go against our cap. So who gives an F? Who gives if they want to pay him all this money? It's not going to hurt whether your salary cap issues. So, kudos to the Mets, and the Yankee fans are crying hard. Rafa, what's your thoughts on this?
I don't mind it, but yeah, I don't hate on people's money. So, whether he was worth 600 million, 500 million, 400, 700, whatever the fuck it is. He's worth whatever somebody's willing to pay him. The Dodgers were willing to pay. It sounds like they were willing to pay him 600 million. The Yankees 755 or 760 or whatever it was. At the end of the day, the $5 million, like he didn't leave the Yankees for $5 million. He left the Yankees, and he didn't only leave the Yankees for the suite. It wasn't just a suite. You think if you're getting $750 million, you give up 3 fucks about spending fucking, $1 million or $500,000 a year on a suite for 81 home games? No, there's a bigger picture than that. Nobody wants to say it, or nobody knows what it is. And I don't know what it is, but I can only assume that there's an issue there with Aaron Judge. I don't know, but there's something other than $5 million in a fucking suite. It's not that. It's not $5 million in a suite. There's an internal issue with the Yankees that he obviously didn't like.
Can I tell you what I think? The Yankees are Steinbrenner, rest in peace. They have very stringent rules, clubhouse rules. You can't have a beard. You can only have a mustache. They weren't giving Jeter or A-Rod. They didn't give them a suite. The Yankees have a very high standard of, we represent, the interlocked NY. They're not about, you're never bigger than the Yankees. I don't care who you are. And they don't bow down to anyone. You will abide by their rules. And maybe, Juan Soto, a lot of guys don't like it there. It's not comfortable. You get treated with first class, by the way. It's a first class organization, but you will play by the Yankees rules, and they don't bow down to anyone. And I heard he was pissed off about, not getting this or not getting that. But if Aaron Judge is not getting it and Derek Jeter's not getting it, then don't ask, man. Then don't ask. So that's my thoughts. Ryan, you got any your 2 cents on this Soto deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's $5 million and a year, right? Like the difference was 16 years and 760 million, right? Like there was the difference. But I think I read somewhere that there was something internal. Rafa is on the right track with that. There was something internal where one of the security guards removed his family or someone in his family or something like that, right? And it was at Yankee Stadium. So I think there was some animosity there. But I also do think that he wants to be treated with white gloves everywhere. Not to say that the Yankees aren't doing that, but on a bigger scale than Jeter ever was, right? Or than these other guys are, right? So I will never hate on a guy for getting his money no matter what. And I'm sure we'll get into Kirk Cousins getting his money, but it's Soto gets paid. Big deal. But like, I don't know. I don't really have any gripe about that, but there is definitely something that isn't known to the general public outside of, anything with his family and security guards or whatever else, that he was just like, no, it's time for me to get out of here. Cause it's just different. It's like you said, they play for the NY on the hat. It's just like Notre Dame, right? There's no names on the backs of the jerseys, just like in New York, right? You're not playing for your individual anything. You're playing for the team, and that's all it is. So I get it. But I can understand why he might want to be an individual and be like, I'm going over here to get as much money as I can. So I can't fault him for that. If anybody should be hired, it should be his agent more than anybody.
The devil himself.
Matthew Roach just said this is Bobby Bonilla 2.0. And then Michael Brown said
Bobby Bonilla.
Michael Brown said he's firing Eddie now. He changed his mind.
Listen, would I have paid him that amount of money? No, because I don't think he's worth Shohei Ohtani money. But I'm not upset with him. I'm not upset with Cohen. Cohen's trying to win. He's shown that he's willing. And by the way, they were very close. It's a very good team. And does this put this over the top? I don't know. But it is what it is.
Tough. But they made a move. They were in the NLCS. They made a move that they think can put them over the top. And that's always the right move. One way or the other, whether fans agree with it or not. If you were you were one series away from the World Series, and you made a correct, you got the best free agent available, right? And you paid him a fuck ton of money, and you were, one series away from the World Series. You made the correct move. The fans can never complain about this if you're a Mets fan. But
No.
plain and simple.
Oh, they will. New York complains about everything. That's why.
Well, that's more Yankee fans, but yeah.
Oh, Jets, Giants. It doesn't matter. It's the toughest media market, and that's
because they
why.
suck.
Yeah, that too. That too. So, and any other firings out there, Eddie Money?
Nah, just
Oh,
you
CJ
from Michael Brown.
CJ
Oh.
said UNC is a top 25 program.
Listen, I want to address that real quick because I went back. I went to address that because I knew we were going to bring that shit up today, and so I brought it up.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Take your time.
I brought it up last night that they're not a top 25 program, and when Michael Brown was sitting here, it kind of occurred to me. Let me look this up. So this team has double-digit wins one time in the last 26 fucking years. One time they won
2
double
years
digit.
ago, right?
No, it was not. It was in 2015.
Oh,
It was not 2 years ago. It was in 2015. What top 25 program has double-digit wins once in 26 years? I can name you probably every fucking SEC team that in the last 26 years
Here we
has
go.
more than fucking 10. Wisconsin has more double-digit wins in the last 26 seasons than fucking North Carolina.
Wisconsin's
Iowa.
a better Wisconsin. Those are better
Wisconsin's a great
programs.
program.
Yeah, those are better
Perfect.
programs.
Imagine. Wonderful. So then that's another team that clearly boots North Carolina out of being a top 25 program in football. They are not. They are not. And if you want to sit here and we can go at it and start naming 25 right off the dome,
Oh,
they ain't in.
But first, let me pop this bottle in honor of Mr. Belichick being a Tar Heel. It's a great day. There's a saying in Chapel Hill, Rafa, and it says, it's a great day to be a Tar Heel. And it is a great day to be a Tar Heel today, all the way in Southern California. Congratulations to all you heels out there, because this is a win-win situation. Now, let me ask.
Except on the field.
We went over this last night. We got in a heated argument. Both Rafa and Mr. Holmes agreed, or they said that Bill Belichick should not come back and coach, and they don't see him being successful. So I just want to
not coaching college. He should coach in the pros. He should. If anything, he should have went to the Cowboys. If anything, that's where he should have went.
100%. Or the Bears, by the way.
Or the Bears. Yes, correct.
Well, that's what a lot of people thought that was going to happen. But let me ask you too. Okay, is Bill Belichick a great football coach? Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody refutes that.
Do you think he is an intelligent human being?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Is he detail oriented?
Of course, you have to be.
More than any other coach I've ever seen, right? I mean, the documentaries. It's a very, very smart man. This man, okay, this wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. He spent a shit ton of time. I saw him in the cutoff sleeves at UW. He spent a shit ton of time over there around the college kids early in the year.
3 months.
It doesn't matter. He got a feel. He got a feel for college football practices.
Bad players he got a feel for. That's what
bad
fucking players.
That too. But
and them sororities, that's where he got his girlfriend from.
Damn right.
No.
Watch them hyenas in fucking Chapel Hill. Watch them hoes in Chapel Hill and go get a dick down from Mr. Bill.
We just released a meme, and my wife's like, "That might be a little too much." I'm like, "Don't worry about it."
It's not too much.
Yeah.
Great.
By the way, I heard that there's somebody that we know. I'm not going to put his name out there, but there's somebody that we know that went ahead and bought the Chapel Bill trademark.
Wow.
Hey, I'm talking about wow.
My son called him heel a check. So there's gonna be a shit ton of stuff. That campus is gonna be a buzz.
You know what they should put on the hoodie? Like a 6-6 at the bottom. Because that's what his record's gonna be next year.
God.
6-6.
Okay, so Rafa, let me make my point here. Okay, He comes to the chancellor with a 400-page, they're calling it Bible or book. This man,
And nobody read that.
Oh yeah,
Nobody.
yeah, it could have had nothing in there, right? Like, but either way, he has thought this out. It's not a money grab, right? $30 million over 5 years. He's making $1 million being on a McAfee show. You know, he's not hurting for money. He's a coach. He loves to coach. I believe he went to UW and said, hold on here. This is kind of cool. I could mold these guys. With that being said, he's a great coach. He's smart. He's detail-oriented. He has thought this through. He's been around college kids. He's been around college practices. He knows the restrictions. And like we said yesterday, this is the wild, wild west. I don't think he's going to recruit high school kids at all. I think he's going to have a scouting, just like he had in New England, a scouting team of 10,
Videotape,
11.
video camera and all with that scouting team?
Hey, probably that too. Probably that too. I would hire Connor Stallion if I was him, actually. But I believe this is going to be a transfer portal type situation where
He has to be one. This is the excuse you're using because he's not going to be able to recruit kids. So this is the excuse you're already using in your head. Oh, that he's going to get because he's not going to be able to walk into somebody's house. He's not going to be able to walk into fucking Tina and Mark's house and be like, listen, I want to take fucking Jamal to play fucking wide receiver for me and have him and have this dorky ass white dude who nobody wanted throw him the fucking football. That shit ain't flying. He's going to be 6-6, 7-5, and his son will coach the team in 3 years. You'll be dead in the water.
Listen, I agree. He's actually funnier than what people, in the media, he's known for being dry and not giving anything. But you see him on McAfee, he's a funny dude.
Not being a coach was probably the best thing for his but not being a coach was probably the best thing for his image because he was known to be a complete asshole to all types of media all the time because he didn't want to answer questions or anything else. Him actually showing his personality over this last year of not being a coach, best thing ever for him as a person and as a brand. But I don't see it working. I don't see it working. Like you said, he is not a Nick Saban in that regard, where Nick Saban has a ton of character and a ton of personality, which we've seen over the years, not just him being on College Game Day now.
Yeah.
Michael Brown said this will either work phenomenally or fail spectacularly.
Factual.
Fair. It's fair. But either way, it is a shot in the arm for that football program. There it will be a buzz. And this will be, like I said, he will find kids at Boise State, Arizona State, Texas Tech. He will have a scouting committee, and this will be, I think he's ready. I think he's ready. And this will be a transfer portal built team like Colorado. And look what Colorado did in 2 years.
Same. That is not the same.
Why is it not the same? Why?
Because it's fucking Dion.
Yeah.
Dion
it's
carries
fucking
this,
Bill Belichick.
It's not the same. Dion has this aura, this fucking aura. When he walks into a room, it's like, oh, I want my son to play for him. Bill Belichick walks into a room and his dry ass, he's not getting Travis Hunter. He's not getting a Travis Hunter type guy. And Dion's situation, let's see what the quarterback looks like the next year when Shadour's gone. Let's see if Dion could figure that out. Because if Colorado fucking next year sitting there,
he does have a 5-star coming, but it's gonna be a lot different than his son who he nurtured all his life.
Well, and Tom Brady fucking worked with him as well. And Shador wasn't good in the very beginning. He lost games at Jackson State. So and let's not forget, Shador won 4 fucking games last year. When Colorado goes 4-8 next year, it's like, oh yeah. So Dion isn't that good.
Wow.
Matthew Rocha said Dion played and it was prime time. He's a player's player. Bill is just a player.
Damn right he is.
Yeah, I do think that a lot of these NFL players that are now coaching, a lot of them have the luxury of being YouTubeable, right? Like I mean, Dion is before I grew up watching Dion, that's why I'm a Falcons and a Florida State fan, because I watched Dion, I watched Work Done, I watched guys like that, Derek Brooks, like those are the guys that I watched. These guys are now coaches, and specifically Dion, now a coach. Eddie George, now a coach. These guys played in the NFL, at least in a time where maybe not the kids that are coming into college know who they are, but their parents do. So that's why I think for Dion is why it worked, because they saw like the dads, the moms, they knew who Dion was, and they were like, this is a guy that I want to send my son to. This is somebody that I trust. And not for nothing, Dion was selling it. Dion is always selling it, because you can actually believe the shit that he is saying. It. Like Dion he's a different type of dude. And the things that he did with who is it, Horn, right? Like just like stepping in as like a father figure. I think that's different than anything that Belichick's going to do. Belichick is not going to want to hold a guy's hand. He's not going to want to. He didn't want to hold Tom Brady's hand when he was there. Brady used to get absolutely motherfucked up and down the wall during those film sessions, but he was the type of guy that was just like, I'm in it, and this is what I'm going to do. Right? Brady wanted to be successful. Those guys don't. I said it last night. Those guys, those Brady type guys that are just like, I'm going to get yelled at, but I still know I'm making good plays. He's making me better. Those guys don't really exist anymore. They don't. Kids can get NIL in high school. Everybody thinks it's terrible NIL in college. In certain states, they can get it in high school. Quinn Ewers, the only reason he went to Ohio State is because he couldn't accept that $1 million when he was here in Texas to begin with. So he went to Ohio State, was a backup, and accepted that $1 million in NIL as a true freshman, and then came back to Texas. But it's so much different. It's not going to be the same as Dion going to Colorado, because at least we knew what Dion had done at Jackson State. We knew what he did there. It wasn't pretty that first year at Colorado, but they got their shit together this year, and he's got probably the Heisman front runner. Like, it's going to be different. He's not getting a Travis Hunter. It's not going to happen. He's not getting a guy like that.
It doesn't matter, because he develops players. Guys, Bill Belichick did something that we have never seen. It was better than Lombardi in Green Bay. He had a 20-year dynasty in the NFL, where you continually have shitty draft picks and a salary cap. He would find gems. We talk about all the time. Not Troy Vincent, what's his name? He played receiver and cornerback. Troy Brown. 20 years, guys. A dynasty for 20 years. And by the way, Ryan, that was a strategic move when he chewed out Tom Brady. And Tom Brady knew that. Guys were like, oh my God, if he's ripping the GOAT a new asshole, and I'm 52 of 53 on the roster, I better get my shit together. I mean,
look, Eddie, what you said was he develops players, right? Now, college players don't want to sit there and get developed anymore. They're literally transferring from team to team to team. So they're not going to sit there and wait I'm the fifth fucking linebacker. Let me develop. No, if they show any signs, the fucking backup, if they show any signs, they're gone. They're not going to sit and wait. This is not going to work the way people think it's going to work. And when he goes 6-6, 7-5, and that's about it, then we will say, and you can admit that he came down to the lower level and he didn't accomplish not even a quarter of what Nick Saban did. That's just what it is.
Right. You know this. The word's out on the portal. I think there's something like 21,000 or kids in the transfer portal. 21,000.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
They're starting to understand, hey, I just can't run. Because kids and they need to understand that they need to be Justin Edelman, right? Out of what was Toledo?
Julian Edelman.
Julian. I mean, look at what he turned him into. He was a special.
He turned him into that?
1,000%. Who are you going to give credit? I mean, he was a quarterback / punt returner. Edelman talks about it all the time, and how he learned how to be a football player.
Julian Edelman? You know who came before Julian Edelman? Wes Welker. Wes Welker, who did the same shit in Miami before he went to New England, It's just that he played in New England with Tom Brady. That was the difference. Julian Edelman was that good because Gronk was there. So he's not just going to find some fucking Julian Edelman. He needs to go and find a fucking Gronk first, so then you can have a Julian Edelman.
My pitch is every GM in the NFL listens to whatever the F I say. And if you can play in the NFL, I will get you at least, a late round or undrafted free agent, because they know I don't lie. Number one, I don't bullshit anybody. And if you can play and listen to what I tell you to do, I will get you to the next level. That's my pitch.
So then why didn't he get a job this last year if that's his pitch? In the NFL, he did not get a job this last year. If that was his pitch, that he develops guys, then why wasn't he one of the guys that are hired? He's one of the best.
He was a finalist for the Atlanta job. An Atlanta team that's full of talent on the offensive side of the ball. Full of talent on the offensive side of the ball. And last year, I believe they were like a top 15 or top half of the league, at least in defense. Yep. Why didn't he get that job? If he's so respected in the league, by the way, by an owner
I'll tell you why.
Old as shit and has a good relationship with him.
The owner is the only one that did want him. Nobody else did want him. And I came on this show and said I didn't want him. I didn't. Yeah. I honestly didn't because I knew how it was going to go. You listen. He's a control freak. He was the GM in New England. And that obviously was not working out. And at no point did anybody there want to relinquish that kind of control to one man. It's the complete opposite with Raheem Morris. And it may not look very good right now, but it looked very good to start of the season. So nobody wanted to relinquish that kind of control to the head coach. They didn't. You want to talk about players, you want to talk about drafting guys, that's perfectly fine. But you also have to understand that this isn't the Bill Belichick show. Just like honestly, he may be the best coach, but they were not packing that stadium to watch Bill Belichick throw passes. That is not how that shit used to go. So I think he's a great coach. I think he can be great. I think he can do well. But I think he does better in the NFL where he's coaching grown-ass men and not 17, 18, 19, 20, maybe all the way up to 25-year-old kids, right? Like it's a different level of development. And as Rafa said, kids don't want to be developed these days. They truly do not want to be developed. You have more conversations about a true freshman that came in and didn't play and is in the transfer portal at this very moment because he didn't play as a true freshman. That shit never used to work. Used to come in and be like, I got to take my lumps. I got to learn. This is a college offense. This is a college defense. This game moves so much faster than anyone out there. I don't care what level you're playing at. I played Division III football in college. The speed of college football is different no matter the level. The intelligence is different no matter the level. Nobody wants to sit around and learn anymore. And it's the same that happens in the NFL. Tom Brady said it himself. They dumb down the game because they want their big stars to come out of college and pack the seats of these NFL stadiums, and they're not developing guys in the NFL. The reason Tom Brady was good was because he sat for a little bit. The reason that Patrick Mahomes is good is because he sat for a little bit. It's what they're doing in Atlanta, and it's why I get behind it, because these guys know there's a learning curve. You don't want to just throw a guy in and be like, hopefully it works, because then when it doesn't work, you want to throw him out and throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that's exactly what's happening in Chicago right now.
By the way, when was the last time fucking Bill Belichick drafted a receiver worth the shit? Imagine him trying to recruit a guy like Travis Hunter. I'm not saying a receiver, an elite receiver.
Keneal Harry was
amazing. Phenomenal. Yes, he was phenomenal. Dude, you couldn't draft a good black receiver. You're going to try and recruit one? Get the fuck out of here. You're a 6-6, 7-5. You've never been a top 25 football program. That's that.
I have to jump on your guys' bandwagon. And the best example is probably the NBA. No one's getting developed, and now NBA is freaking unwatchable. But
water down.
Let's move on. Let's move on. What do we got next, Eddie Money?
Michael Brown, to end it off, says that's his only selling point. His only pitch is that he wants to be a pipeline to NFL. For a QB, he's my last option until McDaniels is on his staff.
Told you.
He says
you don't think he's gonna put together an incredible staff? Are you fucking shitting me? I promise you that as at the top of the list of in that 400, he's gonna put together a phenomenal staff. I mean, come on.
I mean, listen, Matthew Rocha sent the schedule, and he said pretty tough schedule. Sounds like a homer to me. TCU's shit. Charlotte is shit. Richmond is shit. UCF is shit. Cal's decent. NC State is absolute trash. Clemson and Duke, and at Clemson is completely different than Duke. Duke's a middle pack. Stanford is absolute garbage. Virginia's middle of the pack. Syracuse is middle of the pack. And Wake Forest is actual shit. So their schedule favors him to go 8-4 at least, Matthew Rocha. Not a pretty tough schedule. Come on. The homer.
That's not a
the
good
fucking
schedule
amount
at
of
all.
homers. The homers here. Oh, what a tough schedule. Are you kidding? He wins. If he goes 10-2 in that schedule, he's not making the playoff because that's a fucking Indiana schedule. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ.
That's their
The homer
schedule?
shit.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I just
Jesus
looked it
Christ.
up.
Think about this.
That's their schedule.
TCU win. Charlotte win. Richmond win. UCF win. Cal probably a win if they're at home. NC State win. Clemson lost. Duke maybe. Stanford win. Virginia maybe if you're on the road. Syracuse if you're on the road. And Wake Forest, doesn't matter where you play the motherfucker. You can play it on Tobacco Road, in the fucking actual road. You're going to beat their ass too. He's set up for 8-4 the first year. And if
Hey,
he goes
I told you
6-6,
I told you he thought about it. I told you he's detail oriented. You don't think he looked at that schedule and say, hey, I could probably do this?
yeah, well, you better start 8-4 the first year. But 8-4, and then the next year, guess who's not on that schedule that will be on the year after? Miami and SMU, who are only going to improve. And you're probably going to get Clemson again and Florida State. My God, listen, if you go 8-4 next year, guess what you're doing the year after? 5-7. You will regress.
Sonny lives, in a nice little area in an apartment building. Brad Johnson, the quarterback, maybe possibly the starting quarterback, who was a starting quarterback this year and had a devastating injury. He's neighbors with Sonny. He's right down the hall. So the cover's
I like
not,
that kid, by the way. I like Brad Johnson's son.
Yeah.
Last
Sonny,
point,
man,
Michael.
hey.
Yeah, get friendly with him.
Yeah. Make friends with that
Make
guy.
it back.
Yeah, make friends with that guy. Michael Bass said, make a good point, but hard to let your kid develop when you're paying him $3 million.
Well,
Good
I
point.
am sure that was part of the how much NIL money he was going to get. There is a lot of feria in Chapel Hill. There's
I'm
a
excited.
ton. It's exciting. It's
I hope I have to
exciting.
apologize. I hope I have to apologize for this take, but
I hope you
probably
do.
fucking not.
Listen, listen. I'm not saying he's gonna just set the world on fire and make the playoffs next year. Like I said, I'm not even sure if it's gonna work, but I think it's incredible for the university. It's incredible for that program. They have the facilities are amazing there. So it's Chapel Hill is tiny. It is tiny. It's a very small town, and it's just gonna be buzzing. Like I said, I've been to breakfast, and Hubie's been right in back of me with his family. Mac Brown breakfast at First Watch right in the corner. I've seen Roy Williams multiple times. You run into, there's like 3 or 4 places that have breakfast in Chapel Hill.
How far is a convalescent home from there? Because that's where Mac Brown and Bill Belichick are going to be rooming together.
Listen,
man.
I just need to see Belichick in a pair of Jordan 1s or some 11s or something.
Fucking great.
Let him
He's
get
already
them
fucking young bitches. So
them UNC 101s. I need Belichick in some UNC 101s or something.
Oh,
and then we'll be then I'll say he's a success. He pulls
There you
up
go.
in some Chapel Hill UNC 4s. I'm good then.
you know what? He's gonna do the press conference in off-white ones. It's gonna be fucking just great.
It's gonna be badass.
It's gonna be great. Let's
We're
move
on.
on.
We're on to next week.
I hope he brings the personality with him. I don't want to see. I do want to see him kind of revert back to a little bit of the Belichick-isms, but I also want to see him bring the personality with him, and I think that will endear him more to his team than anything.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on because we can talk about Belichick all night.
Yeah. So there's been a question circulating around the NFL. It's return in regards of the offensive rookie of the year. Want to see where you guys stood on this. So beginning of the season, it was heavily Jaden Daniels. According to betting odds, it's still heavily Jaden Daniels. But people keep saying there should be a case to be made for Brock Bowers to be the offensive rookie of the year based off his stats. And I just want to see what you guys think. I obviously know what Rafa thinks based off that reaction.
Well,
Listen, I'll go first. I'll let me go first.
Okay.
All right. Brock Bowers is phenomenal. He will be the best tight end in the league in the next 3 years. There's no doubt about it. It doesn't matter who throws him the ball. Gardner Minshew, AOC, Antonio Pierce. It doesn't matter who throws him the fucking football. The guy is great. But for you to make a case and to even and the reason this is brought up is because Eddie Money and Eddie are Raider fans, not morons, by the way. Well, at least not Big Eddie.
Whoa.
So for Eddie Money to bring this up, when he started the question, I thought the case was, is it Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix?
Yeah.
Is it Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix? The guys that are sniffing the playoff, that are technically in the playoff, I believe, if they started today, that's who should get consideration for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Brock Bowers has been great, phenomenal. The one shining star in that black and silver shithole in Las Vegas. Okay,
Yeah.
so, but he should not get any. He'll get third place votes, but 1 and 2 should be Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, whichever way you want to cut it. In my opinion, is either one.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I'll go next. When Eddie Money says people are saying, it's because his algorithm is filled with fucking 82 fucking Raider influencers. That's the people that are saying it, because like Rafa said, it's fucking ridiculous. He is going to break some records. Right now, he's at 87 receptions, 933 yards. He averages 10.7 a reception, 4 touchdowns. But ask me right now. Go ahead, ask, or Ryan, ask me. Would I rather have Jaden Daniels or Brock Bowers? It's not a fucking.
It's not a question.
It's not a question. Ask me if I rather have Bo Nix or Brock Bowers. It's now, Ryan, ask me this. Would I rather have your fucking backup quarterback or Brock Bowers?
I was waiting for it.
I'd rather have Michael fucking Penix than Brock Bowers. So, you know what?
The way Cousins is playing right now, you might have him next year.
And, you know, it still
Wouldn't shock me.
it still fucks me up. And I see all of these Raider influencers. One guy posted the reactions of all these Raider influencers when we drafted Brock Bowers, and there was all and now look at him ball. Listen, he's a baller. He's a fucking tight end. Okay, you and we as Raider fans and Raider Nation need a franchise quarterback, and Bo Nix looks phenomenal. Jaden Daniels, he's I think 4th in passer rating. 2,819 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks, and he's in a wild card, 2nd in his division. You know, he's stepped on the doorstep of a fucking playoff berth. You can never consider anybody on a 2-11 team for any fucking award other than, you know, we suck or the first pick in the draft. That's our reward or award, is getting, you know, that's just whatever. You got me all riled up, Eddie Money.
By the way, this is a
Michael
great
Brown.
comment. That is a great comment.
Michael
His
Brown said-
hairline deserves. I'll read it because I've laughed for the last 2 minutes. His hairline deserves Defensive Player of the Year, fighting every day to stay alive. Brock Bowers. Listen, if you were in our fantasy league, Brock Bowers, and you finished last, we made you shave your head because that's what the guy in our fantasy, his hairline looked just like yours. Please
He needs to give it up.
Dude,
Bro, he needs a line.
that is a Hall of
But
Fame
because-
fucking comment. That's my son-in-law, bitches.
He either needs to give it up or call LeBron's guy for whoever got LeBron's hairline back, because it is not good times.
Bro,
It is not
Bro,
good times.
That was the Illuminati, Ryan.
this is true. LeBron went to Turkey.
Yes. Oh,
Got
turkeys.
it done
Dude,
in Turkey.
I haven't spit a drink out like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. That shit
That's
came
why
out
Eddie
the
once he
street.
saw the comment.
Oh
Once
my
Eddie saw the
god.
comment.
I spit all over everything. That was fucking great.
But
too good.
Eddie touched on it. We can roll into it now. We brought on Mr. Ryan Holmes. He is an Atlanta Falcons fan, and they're struggling right now.
They are.
Not the season. It started off really well. Past couple of weeks is not the way that everyone thought it was going to go.
Yeah, myself included. I let me say this. I'm still behind Kirk Cousins. If they want to start him, go right ahead, right? Like, you want to see him do well. So what am I going to say? Like, oh no, like, no, go out there and throw the ball for 500 fucking yards like you did against Tampa earlier on the season. It's literally been a tale of two seasons within 9 weeks, right? Like, it's insane how he can come out and ball out and look as good as he did against the Chiefs, but then throw all these picks in the last 4 weeks. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in 4 weeks. It's insane. I honestly do want to see Michael Penix play, and I understand why he didn't play last week. Raheem was not going to take out Kirk in Minnesota. Was not going to happen. He's going to let him go out on his shield, returning to his old home. But man, you gotta fix something. I love how they fixed the defense. Not fix, but the defense has looked better. They have 8 sacks in the last 2 weeks, where they've finally figured out how to pressure or at least show pressure or get to the quarterback. But man, it's not looking good. And the funny thing is, we talked about Brock Bowers and the tight end that he is. Everybody thought that Kyle Pitts was going to be doing Brock Bowers type shit, especially in that first year where he had 1,000 yards and he breaks Buck's record and everything else. Like, everybody thought he was going to be doing some things. I can't wait for him to be gone next year. I cannot wait for Kyle Pitts to be gone next year. He doesn't look like he even wants to be there. He looks like he's breaking routes off. Like, he's never on the same page as Kirk. Like, I mean, maybe because Kirk is not on the same page with literally anyone right now, but Kyle Pitts has not looked good the entire season, even in those games where they were winning. He really hasn't looked good. So I just think that I don't know if Kirk is hurt or not. He's looked more hurt in the last couple of weeks where he's more of a statue, but I even question Zach Robinson's play calling. I love how he came out first play of the game last week and had Kirk under center, and then you kind of knew that they were going to get back to some play action. But Kirk is the number one passer when he's throwing from play action, and they've barely even used it. It just doesn't make any sense in these last couple of weeks. So I feel like they can turn it around. I mean, they've got the Raiders this week. They've got the Giants the following week. The toss-up game against the Redskins, against the Commanders that next week. And then I think they have the Panthers the last week. So they can still have a double-digit win season if they win out, but I did not expect for the season to look the way it is. If you would have told me that they were going to sweep the Bucs and damn near sweep the Saints, I would have told you were crazy. Even when I made my picks at the beginning of the year, I was like, they're going to split with the Bucs. They're going to split with the Saints. They should shut out the Panthers, which they can still do. I mean, hell of a season when it comes to being in their own division, but outside their division, it's horrible. It's not looking good whatsoever.
Listen, I agree with all that you're saying. It sounds all wonderful. But listen, they've lost 4 in a row. And
yeah,
I know the stretch that they have coming is the easy part of their schedule. Like, I'm looking at it now. They have the Raiders on Monday night, right, in Vegas. And then they have the Giants. They go to the Redskins, and then they close with the Panthers that are playing a lot better as of late since Bryce Young came back. Yeah. I think this would be the week to make the move to Michael Penix.
I agree.
And I would make the move this week. You're going to get a soft Raider team, get some confidence in the young kid. He's going to play a Raider team that isn't, they're 2-11, right? And you blew the lead here in the last 4 weeks in a division that you kind of looked like they had the kind of the stranglehold on for a little bit, I thought. And so for you, if you bring him in this week, I think it's a perfect spot to bring him in because you're playing a 2-11 team. Get some confidence in him. Pick up a win. If he picks up a win, dude, the team's just the energy around him is gonna be insane. And then you get the Giants at home next week, another 2-11 team. And he can start off at 2-0, and the team will just start kind of rolling. And even then, listen, you throw him out against the Raiders, and he has a bad game, and they lose the game. Fuck it, you can go back to Kirk Cousins the next week at home against the Giants. And either which way, I think you just need to give him a chance now, because if Kirk goes out there and they lose this game, then you have no choice but to bench Kirk. Absolutely. Yeah. I think you can risk Michael Penix this week in Vegas on Monday night, see what he can do. If he doesn't do well, you can go back to Kirk the next week and say, fuck it. You know what? The kid's not ready. But I think this would be the perfect time to do it. Because
what they're saying, he's lighting up practice too. He's lighting it up in practice. And they're like,
yeah, that's what I read that on Twitter.
The arm is live right now for Michael Penix. And Kirk being a statue back there, that's like, oh my God, that's like a bunch of salivating dogs. They're just like, you mean he's going to take the snap and stay at 5 yards? He's going to stay 7 yards behind the center. Like that's a beeline. And that's not tough defense. He's very good against the blitz, but if you're running coverage underneath and you've got safeties over top, he's not getting the ball to anybody. He's not, because they're running slow developing routes. It's not going to work.
Dude, and the offense is not like they haven't struggled. I'm looking here at the Charger game. They had one offensive touchdown at the beginning of the game, which was, I think, the first drive of the game at 7-0.
First drive.
And after that, it was done. And then the Minnesota game got out of hand. So I think this is a perfect spot for them to play Michael Penix this week, see what you have. And hey, if he's not ready, you can go back to Kirk the next week. I think this is a perfect
he's
spot.
27 years old, Rafa. This is not a young buck.
Yeah, but he's a young buck in the NFL. The speed of the NFL and we know it's completely different, right? So I think bringing him in this week, I think, would be a perfect spot for the Falcons. You need to energize that team. That offense needs to be energized. We need a boost in there. And so listen.
For the record, Michael Penix is 24.
Yeah, Ed's
his knees are 27. Well, his knees are 27.
You'd kill to have 27-year-old knees right now. Shut up.
Touche.
There's a lot of us that would kill to have 27-year-old anything at this point. So
yeah,
but anyways, but I think I think the Falcons need to go to Penix, and it should be sooner rather than later. See what they can do. That team is too good, too talented on offense to be this bad. And you need an injection of energy. And what is more injection than a backup quarterback who's lighting up practice and is probably not going to – I'm not saying he's not going to run around like, not Lamar Jackson, even Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, but he's going to move more than fucking Kirk Cousins.
But, Rob, you and I have seen him in that stadium at the Pac-12 champ. His
last time he played there, he lit it up.
Dude, his corner routes and post,
the deep ball's gorgeous.
Oh my God, it's fucking we're in the end zone looking at giggity his balls. And I was just
nice balls. Balls.
Great corner balls. And post balls.
Great corner balls.
It's just I was like, dude, this would look so right in Vegas. And then we all know what happened.
Listen, I hope it looks just right in Vegas this Monday. I really do, because you're right. If they're going to start him any week, it should be this week. It definitely should, because if anything, and rightfully so, I was behind sitting him for a year because I didn't think it was going to look like this. And I don't think anybody did, right? Like quarterback play was the number one thing. And my God, we're playing against Ritter now this week. If you lose to Ritter,
oh my God,
all bad.
Don't even come back to Atlanta. Don't even come back to Atlanta. They will not allow you in Atlanta. Like won't happen.
Dude,
will not happen at all.
Ritter's gonna look like the water boy. Just
God, they better. I'm telling you right now, if he completes a pass, I'm my God, I will be so pissed off. I'm telling you right now, Ritter's going to be on one. You know he already is.
Oh,
but seriously,
yeah.
the stars aligned to make that happen. The stars had to align to make Desmond Ridder the starting quarterback for the first game this year against his old team. Come on.
Yeah.
And whoever the NFL scriptwriter is, they took a break. They took a break from being devious with giving the Chiefs all these last second wins and said, yeah, we're gonna let Ridder come back and be the starting quarterback against the Falcons off the practice squad.
Yeah, no. The NFL writers have taken a strike just on the Chiefs because it's the same freaking ending every freaking week. Whether it's the Raiders, the Carolina Panthers, they're getting lazy. They're getting lazy because it's the same bullshit. This one hits the upright the Broncos. Doesn't matter. They have a minute and 20 seconds to go. And it's 3rd and 14. And what happens? Patrick Mahomes makes a play with his feet, gets his guy in position. It's the most frustrating thing I've ever seen.
I don't know how here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes is great, but the fact that they always have the ball last is ridiculous. Like outside of the Broncos game, basically every single game. And I mean, they stopped the Falcons on 4th and 1, but like, the pass interference call in the end zone was horrible. I was pissed off about that. Yeah. But like just about every single game, they have the ball last. How is this? Give it to me. That's not great coaching. That is not great coaching. That is not.
I want you to watch the Chiefs start in the third quarter. Start watching the Chiefs games in the third quarter, and you can watch the way that the drives methodically go. The way it goes down. It's a 6-minute drive. It's an 8-minute drive. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And if we get down, we still got our 3 timeouts because we're not stupid calling timeouts on some bullshit. It's just perfection. It is literally like watching it's just perfect. It's perfect to watch the Chiefs. But
listen,
anyways,
I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him on good drives. I'll give it to him on good drives, but there's some sort of dark magic going on that they have the ball last. I don't care what it is.
It's not dark magic.
You can't say coaching when they barely beat the fucking Raiders, okay, on a fumbled fucking snap. You can't say it's great coaching.
Which was called dead before.
Yes, you can't say it's great coaching when
they
barely beating the Carolina
They did explain
Panthers.
That, though. They did explain why it was called an illegal motion. It was because of the time that was left on the clock. It's considered an illegal motion, but still, for that to happen at that point in time, come on, that's you can't coach. You can't coach that.
Great teams win close games. Great teams know the exact time on the fucking clock every week. Great teams and great head coaches understand when to use their timeouts.
It's reminiscent of the Eagles last year is what it is for me. The Eagles were undefeated late. And then that magic ran out. It did. It really. I know we'll get to better coaching.
It's not bad.
And better coaching though too.
In Puerto Rico, there's a word for it. It's called Santeria and a bruja. In that pregame, they are cutting off a chicken's head. They're pouring the blood over referee uniforms. It's Jobu. It's
and Serrano. They got Serrano.
There's witches and black magic and Ozzy Osbourne's singing in the locker room. This is 100% Santeria, and there's witches all over Kansas City, Missouri, placing spells on everybody. That's the only explanation for this garbage. Good coaching, my ass.
No, it's not good coaching. Great coaching.
I'll give it
from the Falcons to the Chiefs.
Yeah, we did, but I listen because I said everything I can really say about the Falcons. I just need to see them win. This 4-game skid is ridiculous. I think that Kirk does have it in him to turn things around because the schedule will allow it to. But I agree that if at any point you're going to put your rookie in there to give him a confidence boost of anything, even though you know that Raiders D line is going to be hunting, especially if they put Penix in. But if they keep Kirk in there, it's going to be even worse because he's come on, Max is going to be on one. He's like, that's a statue back there. I'm going to break him in half.
Yeah, and
Now,
snatch all his
the-
gold chains.
The thing is, if I'm Atlanta and if I'm Raheem Morris, I don't go into the game with the thought of if Kirk doesn't perform well in the first handful of drives, I don't want to go to my rookie quarterback at halftime or even midway through the second quarter because the energy is not going to be the same. I don't believe. I believe the energy will be different if it's announced tomorrow or Friday that, hey, on Monday night, our rookie's going to start. And it's just going to inject that fucking energy. Another thing, by the way, I'm not a Raheem Morris fan, just so you know. And I want to put a little bit of the blame on him too.
I want him to step in from a defensive standpoint. Honestly, you coached the Rams. You were the DC of the Rams that went and won.
I could have done that.
But seriously, yeah, I get it. I get it. But step in. It's not like you don't know your shit though. He wasn't a good head coach beforehand, and so we're going to give him a job because he coached a Hall of Famer, probably the best defensive tackle we've seen in since Warren Sapp, probably. And, sure,
and that's what we're going to give him the credit for. Oh, let me give you a number one corner. Let me give you the best defensive tackle this century, and some linebackers that are all above average. And
Bobby Wagner, middle linebacker.
And yes, exactly. Let me give you a Hall of Fame linebacker. Go coach that team to a Super Bowl with a fucking quarterback. And a wide receiver crew that was ready, a core that was ready to roll. And then let me give you that job. And then I'm going to give you another head coaching job. No, I don't think Raheem Morris is an NFL head coach as Steve Spagnuolo is not a head NFL head coach.
Raheem Morris isn't throwing 4 interceptions in the game, Rafa. That's why
he's allowing it to happen for 4 weeks.
Okay. Good point.
That I will give you. Yeah.
yeah.
That I will give you, certainly.
You got it. But like when you say close games are usually won and lost with coaching, I agree, but there's a huge factor, and that's quarterback play and interceptions and fumbles, and that's also a huge factor, and that's been Atlanta's Achilles heel the last 4 games is turnovers.
Yeah, you're not going to win games losing the turnover margin. It's not going to happen.
There's no doubt about it.
And by the way, both you guys need to relax because Mark Davis and fucking Tom Telesco, they're going to give the wink. We know you guys got fucking the Giants next week. There's not a chance. By the way, anybody write that. This is my fucking lock of the fucking week. Okay. Take Atlanta -4.5. The Raiders do not they might look like they want to win. They do not want to win this game. And this is, like you said, this is the perfect time to start Michael Penix because we want no part of a dub. No part of a dub on Monday night.
We've been playing it just right. We've been playing it just right where we look like we're playing extremely tough, look like we want to win. Then damn, something happens in the last 2 minutes. And
I love when the fans want professional athletes to tank because I think it is the dumbest fucking thing. Like the fact that you want them to tank and then you get offended at me when I say that the Chiefs go through the season bored as fuck is actually the same actual thing. It's actually it's different because you wanting them to tank means you want them to go out on the field and play bad compared to the Chiefs who just go out there and actually just play the game and go through the motions. They play the game at certain points.
I don't want the Raiders to tank. I want them to play well.
They're already tanking by accident.
You tanked when you didn't get a quarterback at the beginning of the season. You tanked when you didn't fire AP week 6 when he had 12 men on the field coming out after a timeout twice.
That's terrible, Eddie.
Okay. You tanked when that happened. So I wanted to see my guys play hard and play well. I wanted to see them beat the Chiefs. I'm just telling you, it's not going to fucking happen. And the Raiders are set up for it not to happen. But
you're right. Real quick, I know we did this at the beginning of the show. I want to fire Michael Brown for coming to my house and leaving this much of a cigar and not finishing it. But I also want to hire him for leaving it because I don't have another one back here, and I will light it and finish it. So he gets hired and fired midway through the show. Yes. It's a fucking win-win here.
Yeah. Well, we're speaking of games. We can get into the breakdown of this week.
Let's do it.
Break it down, man.
Starting with Thursday Night Football. Starting off with the Rams and the 49ers. I believe the 49ers are favored by 2.5 with the over-under of 49.
Great.
So
great fucking game. Go. I
Yeah,
have
think it's
not.
gonna be a good game.
Let me go first, real quick, because I don't have a lot to say. Other than what a tremendous Puka Nakua. Oh my
It's
God.
amazing.
Insane
He
catch.
is a revelation. And that was a very, very entertaining game. McVay has proven that he can coach football still. And anyone who he touches should be hired in the NFL. I'm glad to see it. This is a great game because, Rafa, the San Francisco 49ers are alive. They are alive. And this game has huge implications if the 49ers win this game. I'll leave it to the professionals to break everything else down.
I like the Niners. I like the Niners in this game. The first game they blew a lead late in that fourth quarter. So I don't think that's going to happen this week at home. For the most part, the Niners do well against the Rams. This game at home, the Niners, both teams, is a must win for both teams. Obviously, Niners are 6-7. I think the Rams are 7-6. Huge implications, like Eddie said, for the division. For the Niners to get back to to assert themselves as the best team in the NFC West, which we all believe they should be. And I think they're going to come out and dominate. And last week they came out that first half. I didn't watch the rest of the game. I was unfortunately a little bit intoxicated and fell asleep. But it was a bad day for me on Sunday. But I think they come out and dominate that game tomorrow night. I really do. I think they come out and kind of put their foot down early, and I think they finish the game. So I like the Niners to cover the 3, and the line's at 3 today. It was 2.5, and now it's at 3.
Yeah, it's at 3.
Mr. Holmes?
I somewhat agree with. I agree with them covering, but I think it's the Rams game. I think they're riding high right now if that Bills win, and the way that they have Puka and Cooper Kupp playing right now, it's lights out. It really is. Like you're not going to cover that, and it was shown last week. I mean, the Bills had been blowing everybody out of the water for weeks. I mean, they even beat the Chiefs. So like as high as the Bills are riding, and then the Rams were just like, yeah, we're just going to continue to score over and over and over and over and over again. And I get it. Bills mounted a great comeback, and it was probably really shitty coaching to run a quarterback sneak. And that's most likely why they didn't win the game, because they ran out of time. But still, the fact that they put up 44 points on the Bills, I think that they're going to continue to ride high off that confidence boost. I'm taking the Rams.
I love it.
Love it.
All right. Moving into the next game. Dolphins are going into Texas. Texans are favored by 3 with an over-under of 47. Can Miami keep the streak alive?
Texans coming off their bye in this game.
Yeah.
Correct.
Go ahead, Rafa.
Miami's been playing better. Obviously, the game on Thanksgiving night in Green Bay, we knew that was, that's not Miami's never going to be able to, at least Tua. It's not going to be able to play in 30-degree or 40-degree weather. We just know what it is. The Texans haven't played great, as everyone expected. Like if the Colts or even the Jags could show up in that division, it would be an actual race. But Houston coming off a bye, I don't like anytime a team has a top 10 quarterback or top 15 quarterback and they're coming off a bye at home. I rarely even like the road team. So this is one of those stay away games for me. Miami's playing a lot better as of late, but Houston coming off a bye at home, they should win this game. I believe they're going to win this game. So, but it's not a game I'm throwing any money on.
Well, just for the record, last 2 weeks in my lock and cut of the week plays, I said don't take Tua in the cold. That worked out, and I had Miami. And although they made it really interesting with the Jets, I had was it a push?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I wasn't 2-0. Then I was
1-1.
1-1. But
your thought process was correct on both.
Yes, thank you, Eddie Money. But I feel exactly like Rafa. I would stay away from this game. But I can't wait to watch it. I'm so intrigued. This sophomore slump that CJ Stroud is having, his feet don't get set. But he plays a lot better with Nico Collins. Nico Collins at times looks like the best receiver other probably than Jamar Chase and Puka. He's dominant.
And Justin
man.
Jefferson.
Yes.
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson.
but Nico, he's bigger than all of those guys and stronger than all those guys. And my God, he is a monster. When those two
By the way,
connect.
real quick before Ryan goes, Miami is back in the playoff hunt. They're sitting right now outside at number 9, but they're 2 games back at Denver. And Denver, with a rookie quarterback, anything can happen, obviously. So must win for Miami for sure. Houston's got a little bit more leeway.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw my stamp on that too. This is definitely a game you stay away from. Mostly because Tua has something to prove, obviously, and then Stroud, he definitely does, right? And they're coming off a bye week. They're gonna, I think the Texans are gonna be a little bit more ready than the Dolphins are, just because they've had that week of rest and they're at home. But it's not a game that you bet. But I am taking the Texans for the win, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Beautiful. Now, going into a game, I think is going to be a real tester for them, for both teams, to see where they actually lie in the playoff hunt. Steelers are going into Philly. Philly's favored by 5 with an over-under of 42.5.
Ooh, such a great in-state rivalry, man. And if you guys haven't seen the drama, Brandon Graham, just absolute stud and leader on that team. I don't know if he went on a podcast or, they give everyone
a presser. It was like a presser or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. He came out and just like a laundry line started hanging up all the dirty laundry. It was fucking crazy. They couldn't believe what he was saying, but he came out and said that Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, their relationship isn't what it used to be, and it's strained. And he was just poop diarrhea. Just couldn't believe what was coming out. And this is another case of Nick Sirianni not being a strong enough coach to be like, that is the biggest no. What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Just because of this whole thing that's going on, they asked AJ Brown today because they 100% they ran to AJ Brown. He's like, we're good. Brandon Graham, he regrets saying it, whatever. And then they had to interview Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts was pissed. He's like, he spoke out of turn. Like, we're good. And as the leader of the team, Jalen Hurts put his foot down. And dude, Brandon Graham's a scary vato. Like, he's a scary dude. But as the leader of that team, Jalen Hurts stepped up and said, we're good. We're not going to make an issue of this. And by the way, this is Saquon Barkley's fucking team. If AJ Brown wants to be pissed off, I think he's only getting 6 targets a game. My biggest pet peeve on the fucking planet is a diva wide receiver complaining about fucking targets when you are winning football games in the NFL. It's
and
the hardest
11-2.
Yeah. It's like, shut the F up, and you're amazing. We all know how good you are, AJ Brown, but this is what you need to be. You need to be a run first, a type team. And Saquon has been exactly what the doctor has ordered. He's probably saved Nick Sirianni's job. But because of this, I hate to say it, I like Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh in this, because Mike Tomlin would have never let that happen. Remember when not AJ Brown, but CTE Brown started filming Antonio
CTE Brown.
Yeah, started filming like a halftime game speech, or they suspended his ass. That's Tomlin would never let that happen. And I think Tomlin has this team just primed and ready. And I think Philadelphia is a better team, but because of the turmoil and everything that's going on, I think the Steelers will be ready. Sorry I went so long.
I agree.
No so last week, my pick of the week was the Steelers minus 6.5. They fucking smashed the Browns. So AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts came out a little while ago. They said their relationship is good. Yada yada yada. The Steelers at 5.5 is my pick of the week. There, anytime during the week that a guy comes out, and I know it's the captain of the team who's been there for XYZ amount of years, he comes out and starts talking about the other side of the ball. Now and it's the quarterback involved in it, right? The quarterback and your best receiver. And you come out and you put that on, and now there's all sorts of shit going on. I don't think it leads to a good week of preparation, especially here at the end of the week. It's like that's lingering now for the next couple of days. I love the Steelers in this spot, plus 5.5. I think they cover the 5.5. And I think that game at the end is going to be close, probably a field goal late. I think the Steelers can pull it off, but the Steelers plus 5.5 is my pick of the week for this week. And I am a Steelers homer because I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's arguably, put it this way, if Andy Reid didn't have Patrick Mahomes, I strongly believe that Mike Tomlin is the best head coach in the NFL. And that's my opinion. And I know Steelers fans don't like it because he doesn't win Super Bowls, according to them. He's won one, which is more than enough. So, but I like the Steelers. I love the Steelers at plus 5.5 this week. That is my pick of the week. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go Steelers.
Man, it pains me to say this because I am from Pennsylvania and I'm from an hour from Philadelphia where Saquon Barkley is also from. But I'm taking the Eagles, honestly. And it's because of all the turmoil, because of who the guys are. Because these guys are professionals. Their coach may be a shithead from time to time that they have to rein in, but I think Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown sat down. And here's the thing: whether or not they did or not, they're like, listen, if we want to win, we got to get this shit squared away. He's gonna throw to AJ Brown first drive. They're throwing to him 7 yard to the sideline. Just run 7 yards, turn around, I'm gonna hit you with it. That's gonna be in the first. It's gonna be in the first 5 plays.
You hear that, Joey Porter Jr.?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Joey Porter Jr. knows. Mike Tomlin says, "Did you watch the Two Nobodies?"
Yep.
Yes, right. Yes.
They're calling
all out their game plan. It's right there for
in
everyone.
the first 3 minutes of the game, baby.
Listen, because of all the turmoil, they're going to let everybody know we're good to go, that we're synced up, and you're going to have to cover this all night long, all day long. This is what you have. And just when you think you have to worry about the AJ Brown, the Hurts to Brown, you're going to have to worry about Saquon, because they're going to want Saquon to run all over that defense. It's very hard to run all over that defense. Very, very tough. They're a tough defense. And in order for Saquon to do the things that he needs to do, and for them to occupy TJ Watt, they're going to have to get the pass game going. And they're going to have to do it with Jalen Hurts getting out of the pocket too. He's not going to just drop back. He's going to roll to his right and left. He's going to have to make plays back there outside the pocket to get the ball to AJ Brown. I'm taking the Eagles in this game. It's still close game, probably 27-24, because that's just the type of Steelers game that I think it's going to be. But I think they go to AJ Brown early and often to set the tone, and then they allow these other wide receivers to get theirs, and then Saquon closes it out. That's what they call him. They call him the closer for a reason right now, and that's what he's been doing. So I'm taking the Eagles in this one. It hurts me to say it, but that's who I'm going with.
So you like Eagles to win, Steelers to cover.
Yes.
Going into another game of the week, Bills headed into Detroit to play the Lions. The Lions are favored by 2.5, I believe now, with a heavy over-under of 54.5.
Go ahead.
What a
Rafa.
game. What a game this is going to be. This is going to be a treat. I mean, fuck.
It is.
You got 86 points in that Rams game. How many are we going to get in this one? I mean, Jesus. I don't think we're going to get as many, and I'll tell you why. Because Detroit's ability to run the ball it's kind of turned into a little bit of their stronger side of the offense, I believe. Getting Montgomery going and Gibbs, and they do a phenomenal job with those two guys. And Ben Johnson does a hell of a job. I still think the Lions are the best team in the league. And another tough test for Buffalo on the road. I think this is a game that I like Detroit. I think Detroit at home, I think edges this game out. And I believe they win this game. So, and Detroit is having a long 10 days to get ready for this game. I like the Lions. I think they have a bunch of days off this week, right?
I'm not
from
sure. Here's my
they played Thursday. They played last Thursday.
Yeah. So
Is
I think
is that all
Detroit
you
wins
got?
this game. I think Detroit wins this game. I think they cover. I don't know if we get those 40s like we did last week with the Rams, because the Rams can't run the ball the way Detroit does, and Detroit can eat up a drive. They put together a 7-8 minute drives, and the Rams are more of a quick hitting offense. So I don't think we get the 80 points. I think, to be honest with you, I think that over is going to be tight to that number. I think it's going to be somewhere in the really high 40s. I don't like the over, but I do like the Lions to win this game.
Since Hutchinson has gone down, they were like almost dead last and putting pressure on the quarterback, which means they have to blitz, and they've blitzed a ton. And when you blitz against a very good quarterback, not just a very good quarterback, but a very good mobile quarterback, I'm head over heels, man crushing all over Josh Allen. You know, he passes the eye test as far as size, strength, speed. But Dan Campbell talked about it today, and he said it's just not his attributes. Josh Allen's will to fucking win and put the team on his back has been so impressive. He's turning out to be a generational fucking superstar, and I feel like on the other side, with the Lions, Goff has been incredible, right? I think he's had the third best completion percentage since like Drew Brees or something crazy. But I think that's a scheme thing. You know, I think he's one. Well, first off, like Rafa said, he has an incredible run game and the play action pass, and they have great receivers, and they have the best offensive line. But I'm going to go with the Bills and Josh Allen, because I think he's going to have his way with that defense. And if you try to blitz Josh Allen, I think you're in for a long freaking day. And that's just my thoughts. I still think the Lions are the best team in the NFL, but give me any quarterback in the NFL right now, I'm taking Josh Allen over all of them.
I agree on the Lions being the best team in the NFL. I think the way that they've played, even with Hutchinson going down, has been thoroughly impressive. But I'm taking the Bills. I can't take the Bills to lose back-to-back games. Can't do it. I don't think that it happens. Even though, like I said, the Lions are moving and they're looking super efficient. I don't think that the Bills lose back-to-back games. It's just not going to happen, especially with what you said about Josh Allen. Like he willed them to even get back into that game last week. That was a Josh Allen game. That is the one thing that you hear a lot is last year, Josh Allen was trying to be Superman every single game. This year, not so much. This year, he shows up as Superman when needed. And last week, they absolutely needed it. And he may have solidified the MVP vote of just about everybody in last week's loss. So I'm taking the Bills. And if you bet this one, you're just insane. I wouldn't even throw any sort of money at this game at all.
Because you don't need it, right? You don't need to put the 2,500, whatever your fucking unit is. You don't need it to enjoy great football.
This game. Yeah.
And, I wanted to address this, yesterday, because Rafa said, what he says is a fact. But I wanted to add something about why football is the king. It is gambling. It is fantasy. But Rafa, you're forgetting, and which you've done, and you've been in flag football leagues, because we all played it. Because we've all played it on the block, man. We've all played football I don't know about your generation, Eddie. You guys probably played it in your living room on Madden, but
or an iPad.
100%. These motherfuckers didn't play outside, Ed. They didn't play outside, baby. They didn't play tackle on the fucking concrete and a little bit of grass. They never did that shit.
Underneath the street lights, man.
Recess, okay.
I'm telling you, man. That gambling is.
Mommy always knew where he was.
Yes.
Always. The street lights were always
The
on.
street
when that
lights.
motherfucker was outside.
Street lights. He don't know
Always
nothing
on.
about that street light.
He don't know shit about the
You're-
street lights, baby.
Oh man. But
Mommy,
my,
I'm home.
yeah, but that's the thing. We all played it. Here's the thing. Out of 13 kids on your block, you could suck. You're still gonna get put on a team. You're still gonna get put out wide. And once a game, because you're wide open in the end zone because you suck and no one pays attention, the best kid on your block, who's a freaking stud, the sand block, the Eddie Hernandez, whatever the fuck his name is, he's gonna throw you the ball in the end zone, and either you catch it and you're a hero before mom calls you in. Football is still America's game because we all fucking played it. It's just not the gambling aspect, man. I remember I broke my foot. We had an ice machine. I used to pretend that I was O.J. Simpson or Marcus Allen.
This man is a killer. You a killer, man. He ended a killer early, baby.
I jumped over a table and I hit a wood table and broke my fucking foot doing it because I'm a football guy first and foremost before anything. I love football, and this is a game. Don't bet on it, man. Just fucking watch it.
Watch this game
and watch Dan Campbell, his neck fucking explode, and Josh Allen just. I mean, I want them to win the Super Bowl this year because I think he's actually undervalued in this league. I really do. That's how good I think he is.
The MVP candidate is undervalued.
Is he number one? Is he number one?
I think he is.
Yeah.
He started out the season as voted the most overrated by the players.
Yeah.
He was
There you
still top
go.
five in MVP voting though.
Anybody who was my MVP vote to start the season? Was it Joshy?
I thought it was Lamar.
We need to go back. No, it was not Lamar.
I think it was.
I was on Buffalo
Josh.
from the start.
Pretty
We can
sure
go
it was
back
Josh.
to that. It was 100% the Bills and the Ravens. The
No,
AFC
yeah,
title
you're
game.
right.
And Joshy was the fucking MVP. It was
Josh-
all because of Eddie
One
Money's
thing like that
fucking
with Josh
hate.
Allen.
That's
Right?
my boy. That's my boy.
My
You
boy
my
Blue.
Yeah, right. They don't. And Eddie Money doesn't even know what movie we're talking about when we say that. By the way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's really sad, Ryan. It's really
It's
sad.
That's upsetting.
It is.
That guy.
It
It is.
It's
So let's
really
go on to the
upsetting.
next game. We gotta stop bashing Eddie Money. He doesn't know what street lights are, and he doesn't know what fucking old.
I
school
know
is.
with the street lights when they come off, when they go on, you gotta go inside or else your ass gonna get beat.
You just for us, we just had to go check in. Like we're still outside. All right, that
Yeah.
was it.
He's never run that fast 40 time to get to the porch before mom came out in the house coat.
Yeah,
Yellow.
Yeah.
And where the fuck were you at? Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's
All right,
go
going
to the next
on.
one.
Going on to the last four games. These are our make a statement games where each team is on the brink of playoffs or the game means something to that team for any varying reason. First game, Packers -3 going into Seattle to play the Seahawks over under 46.5. Both teams playing for playoffs still.
Seattle, 4-game winning streak,
Go ahead.
Rafa. 4-game winning streak, Rafa. Gino,
Yeah, I'm sick.
second in completions. Offensive scheme looks amazing. Kenneth Walker, I believe, is going to be out again. But give me Oaks Christian, Mr. Charbonnet. He's a dog and playing well. And McDonald, people need to start paying attention, man. I know, Rafa, you hate Seattle, but they are starting to look really good, and they might be the favorites to win the NFC West, man. So, it's gonna be this week in NFL is great, but
It's a loaded weekend.
It
Loaded
is.
Sunday.
Give me the Emerald City. Give me the Emerald City. Give me Seattle, baby.
Wow. Underdogs at home.
Dude, that 12th man is a thing. It's a thing. It's very tough because it's one of those places that you have to travel, very far to, and it's cold, it's rainy, people are depressed, a lot of flannels.
Yeah, once you
Coffee.
land
It's
there,
fucking
you're just
disgusting.
immediately sad.
It's a fucking disgusting place. It really is. I mean,
But
Seattle.
is the 12th man still a thing though?
It's not even.
I
It's
told
not
Eddie
even a
it's
fucking
not.
thing.
It's not any.
It is.
They might as well call it the homeless 12th man. Like it doesn't
I
even
don't-
matter.
It
just
was when
fucking
Russ was
disgusting.
there. When Russ was
Yeah.
there, and
the Legion of Boom.
yeah, like when you guys were when Seahawks were actually like feared, when they had like that defense that was absolutely shut down. But like, I mean, that's the last time you really heard about the 12th man. They're not really the 12th man anymore.
No. And listen, I like Green Bay, and I'll tell you why I like Green Bay, because Seattle sucks. The state of Washington sucks. The city of Seattle is disgusting. You're absolutely fucking disgusting. It's always raining. You're full of fucking homeless and pink-haired fucking people. And on top of that, their 4-game win streak, they beat San Francisco on the road in a Kyle Shanahan collapse at the end of the game, as usual. They beat Arizona twice, the biggest fakers, pretenders. That Kyler Murray, he makes us think he's good for stretches of his seasons, and then we got to believe in him, and we know he's actual fucking garbage. Came off a bye, went into Seattle and lost at home to them, and then they beat a Jets team that's just a lonely Jets team. So, for me they're 8-5. Yes, they're 2 games up in the NFC West. Geno Smith has 14 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Like, they're god awful. I mean, they are really. It's an ugly team to. It's an ugly team to watch. They're the worst 8-5 team in the history of the NFL. It's fucking disgusting to watch. I hope Jordan Love goes in there, drops his nuts on them, and shuts it down. And the 12th man or whatever the fuck they want to call it, the 12 homeless men or whatever. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Go Green Bay. Put the fuck to these dudes. And let's not put Seattle in the playoffs, because it's going to be like watching the Indiana Hoosiers play in the college football playoff. It's just gonna be bad.
Man.
Brings it
It's
right
gonna be
back
bad.
around.
Oh,
I
right
was waiting
around,
for it.
baby.
I was
back
waiting
around,
for
baby.
it.
It
I
would be
was
a
like,
shame.
I didn't know
It
if he
would
was
be-
going Indiana or going SMU, but I knew it was going to be one of them.
I like SMU's quarterback, so I can't give them too much hate.
Oh,
I
man,
gave
this
them enough
guy.
last night. But yeah, I like give me
Oh,
Green
man.
Bay, baby. Give me the Packers. 10 days off to get ready for this. They need this win in a tight NFC race. They both need this win, but Green Bay superior at multiple positions, and they're superior quarterback. And so I think I like Green Bay. I think they're going to cover this game.
I actually agree with that. I'm taking Green Bay, and I think they cover as well. It's Seahawks aren't as impressive as I think their record would say they are. So I don't really even have much to say about it. I'm just taking Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is a very good quarterback, and he's a very capable quarterback. He's shown a lot of flashes of how good he can be. I think injury has kind of plagued him a little bit more this year than his coming out party last year. But I'm still taking the Packers, and I think they cover.
Well,
Sir.
Ryan, you know why he's so good? It's because Aaron Rodgers mentored him.
100%. 100.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not
Yes.
going to sit here and do this with you. If you go and watch Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love, watch their drop back, the way their mannerism, it's like watching the same shit. It
doesn't
really
mean
is.
It doesn't mean he mentored him, though.
I didn't say he mentored him. I didn't say he mentored him. Sitting
We didn't
behind
say
Aaron Rodgers,
he got mentored. We said he picked up tendencies from him.
100%.
You can
All the
Yeah.
tendencies, all
You
of the tendencies that Jordan Love has are Aaron Rodgers-esque. Just like
Mentor
Aaron
was our
Rodgers,
clickbait.
just like Aaron Rodgers' tendencies are all Brett Favre. I had someone actually call me last week and say, "When you watch Jordan Love, does it not remind you of Brett Favre?" I said, "It reminds me of Brett Favre because he's more
'cause
of that size."
They have the same fucking uniform. That's it.
No, dude, no, Eddie, don't make, dude, Eddie Money. If you got time this weekend, do a side by side of the three, please. Side by side
Listen.
for Eddie.
Here's the thing, and this is where you guys are wrong, and I'll be right, and this is why Seattle wins this game. The Achilles heel is J.R. Alexander. I don't believe he's playing. They are giving up a shit ton of big plays. I think they're 26th in the middle of the field. Their defensive secondary isn't very good, and
The quarterback they're playing against isn't very good.
okay. I
He
don't
has
say
14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. You want to put some? Let's put some money on it.
let's
let's
put
put-
some
Cut
fucking
this one.
cut bet on it.
No, I don't want to cut bet it because I have my own cut bet that I want to do later on. But
Okay.
let's put some money on it. Let's.
Actually, we need 2 this episode. So
I have one for cut, and then Eddie can do another one. Mine will be separate. But
Okay.
let's do it. Let's put a bet on it. Let's do a round of golf at Angeles.
Okay. Let's do
You
a
pay
round
for
of
the
golf.
foursome, or I pay for the foursome.
Ooh, foursome. Holy shit balls.
Yeah. Some real dollars, baby. But
I don't have to pay for some guys.
I'm bringing Ralphie, so you can bring Jacob.
Okay,
so it's like you're paying for
that
your
makes
kid.
sense. Okay, that
So
makes sense.
I'll pay for I'll pay the foursome if Green Bay.
I get the
loses.
points. I get the points. Do I?
Oh!
there you go, Eddie. There you go, Eddie. There we go.
You said Seattle's gonna win.
Hey,
All right, I'll give you the points. I'll give you the
thank you.
I'll give you the points. So you got
My
Seattle
spirit,
plus
my
3.
spirit hands say, "Give me the points."
All right, so I'll take Green Bay -3 for a round of golf at Angeles. Date to be determined. So that'll be.
And
the
come
bet. So
find
I
me,
got
and
Green
come
Bay.
find me on Cut Bet as well. Come find Bosco at a Cut. Yeah, I am the 12th man, baby. I'm him. What you think you are? I'm him.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Next game, heavy playoff implications. We have the Bucks going into LA at SoFi to play the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3. Over under 45.5.
I think this is gonna be a good game.
I need the Bucks to lose, so I'm taking the Chargers.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be an awesome game. I think it's gonna be a good game. I like the Chargers to win this game. I think the Chargers at home. Jim Harbaugh got the team ready to roll. They should have won that game last week. I didn't watch it, but just by going through all the play-by-play of it, seems that they should have won. But they dealt with some black magic, or as I call it, exceptional head coach and generational talent quarterback. But I like the Chargers -3 this weekend against Tampa Bay. I think they win by 3 or 4. I think it's a close game, but I think the Chargers will win that game.
Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, I agree with that, and not just because I think that, not just because I want the Bucks to lose. I honestly do think that the Chargers do take this one, and mostly because I think the Chargers get their run game going against the Bucks. That's going to be huge for controlling the game, because if you let Baker Mayfield get into a rhythm, he's tough to stop. He really is. Baker's a very good quarterback. I will give him that. I do have respect for Baker Mayfield and the quarterback that he is. And obviously he's got his wide receivers back. Obviously no Godwin, but he's got Evans back, and Evans is probably wanting to make a nice little statement. So that connection, I think, is probably going to be the live one. And I think, what is it? Bucky is injured too, right? Their running back is
Irvin
out.
was questionable.
Bucky Irvin is questionable. So it's going to be a lot of throwing, I think, for the Bucks, but the Chargers are going to have to get their run game going, control that clock, make sure that their drives are long and extended, and not allow the ball to get back in Baker Mayfield's hands. I think that's the recipe for them to win. And I think that the Chargers take the game, and I think they cover as well.
The only thing I could think about, I could give 2 shits about this game, but a report came out this week by, I don't know if it's Schefter, Conforto, I pick whatever fucking one you want. But I heard it that Jim Harbaugh was more interested in the Las Vegas job and the Chicago Bear job, that he would have took either of those, but neither of them really made a play for Jim Harbaugh, which makes me sick to my stomach, because I am a disciple. I love me some. Who has it better than us? Nobody.
Nobody.
It's tough for me to believe that, though.
By the way,
it's tough for me to believe.
It is. No. It was tough for me to believe as well. But being a Raider fan, I'm like, okay. And then
only because of what he said about Justin Herbert before and how much he loved Justin Herbert. That's why it's hard for me to believe, because he was a huge Justin Herbert fan, which is why it's just like, I don't know if he really wanted to go with the Bears. He's not a Caleb guy, like,
but he
but
played for the Bears, right?
The Bears are basically a home to him, and I'll tell you why. I think that I want to believe a part of this story, maybe not the Raider part, because I think the Raiders were set on Antonio Pierce because of what happened last time with them not hiring the interim, and so. But I believe the Bears part of it, because I believe that the Bears, if Harbaugh would have gone in there, he wouldn't have drafted Caleb. I think Harbaugh probably, if they interviewed him, and I don't know if that
Trades
happened
down.
or not, I 100% believe he trades down and probably keeps Justin Fields, because he's that type of guy where he wants to run the ball first. And I strongly believe that he probably would have taken JJ later on in that first round with their second pick, where they took Rome, and he probably trades down, gets Joe Alt in Chicago, and that's what I believe. And I think Bears ownership wanted Caleb, so I believe that part of it. If with the report that Eddie's talking about,
Well, then you would believe both parts, because you confirmed that they were going to hire AP no matter what, and they were set. So yeah, so the report was dead on.
Yeah, I believe it.
And he took a Chargers job that just, okay, I'm going to get a good quarterback. I'm going to draft Joe Alt, and this gives some flowers to McConkey,
We called that. We said
good.
He was good. We said he was good on this show. We said when they drafted him, we said the very next week that was a phenomenal pick for them. That is a player. He's a player.
He's not going to be a dog, man.
Yeah, next year go out and get Trey Harris.
Oof.
That's our second round draft pick. Don't play me like that.
Anything else?
2 more games left on the docket. This next game, I think it was just more interesting because of who was favored in this game. The Cowboys going into Carolina, where the Panthers are actually favored by 2.5 over under of 43.
Dude, listen. If last week's game didn't tell you how badly coached the Cowboys are, then I mean you have to just be oblivious to thinking that Mike McCarthy's a good NFL head coach. When your team makes a mistake late in the game on special teams or whatever, that falls on the head coach, the special teams coach. It falls on the entire coaching staff. They were in that game. They should have had a chance to go down and win that game, and I thought they were going to win that game. I thought that game was going to be closer than what it was. Well, it was close the entire game, and the Bengals ended up getting a late score to win the game and cover. But that should have never happened, and that falls 100% on coaching from the top to the bottom. The Cowboys, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Cowboys issue starts with Jerry Jones, and it ends with Jerry Jones. And Mike McCarthy still is a head coach because of Jerry Jones. And Mike McCarthy is just an absolute shit show. Also, on when the Cowboys get the ball back, that Cooper Rush gets sacked. The play before he gets sacked, where he actually takes off running for like 2 yards because the pocket collapsed. That's where you call the timeout, Mike McCarthy. I know you needed to call it there, because now he dropped back, takes a sack, and now you have to call. You needed to regroup there and not rush into a play instead of letting 14 seconds tick off the clock. Mike McCarthy's a shit show, which is why Carolina's favored, and Carolina should be favored because they're playing since Bryce Young came back. I think Carolina's GM and coaching staff, they have to look at it and say, well, Bryce Young's played a lot better, and they should have beat the Eagles last week. And that guy who laid $4 million on the Eagles last week.
Oh my God.
He had to have been shitting in his pants, because Xavier Legette drops a fucking clear and a great throw over that defense. A great throw by Bryce Young to possibly lead them to a win. It was a beautiful throw. And I felt bad that Bryce wasn't ready to throw there at the end and having a chance to go and get a huge win on the road.
By the way, they should have beat the Chiefs as well, Rafa.
Yeah, that Chiefs game was a little bit iffy. They were down 8, and then they tied it and shit. It wasn't that close. Like, it was close, but it wasn't. Like, people always look, the last drive. Bro, listen, just like SMU was down fucking 24-7. Like, teams get fucking bored or whatever the fuck. All right, the Chiefs got bored against the Panthers.
Don't get me started.
Clearly.
If you get bored kicking ass, there's a problem. Man, the Cowboys, here's the thing, and I said this while I was watching the game last week. My girlfriend's a Cowboys fan, and obviously we live in Texas, so the games are on TV all the time.
Prayers.
Yeah. But I feel like McCarthy coaches better. Not that he's a good coach, but he coaches better with Cooper Rush as a quarterback, because he has less faith in Cooper Rush than Dak Prescott. He allows Dak to run around a little bit, do some of the athletic things that he thinks Dak can do. Instead, he should he should make Dak a game manager and not a game changer that he thinks he is. Because Dak, he can be a very good quarterback, but Cooper Rush is a backup for a reason. And when you have your backup in there, all you think is, I have to get the ball out of his hands and into my playmaker's hands. And that's what he does every single drive. And that's why I feel like last week they looked better and they looked more efficient, because he's like, I can't rely on Cooper Rush to make any game changing plays. I can rely on him to get the ball into the hands of the guys that need to get the ball. If he coached like that for Dak Prescott, they'd win a hell of a lot more. That's my thought, because he allows Dak to freelance a little bit. And when he starts to freelance, all hell breaks loose. He needs to make Dak more of a game manager, and then the playmaking ability will come out. In this game, I am gonna say that the Cowboys should win this game, mostly because the defense should step up and take care of this game. But man, it looks ugly for the Cowboys these last couple of weeks. Even when Dak was in there, it looked ugly. But they should have won the game last week. That is a coaching error for a guy to touch the ball in that situation and give the ball back. But I do think that they regroup and they do win against a Panthers team that is trying to mount a comeback on the season, but it's just really, really hard, regardless of how well Bryce is playing in his comeback after being benched.
Agree,
Well
1000%. Well
Banger.
said.
All right, moving into the
Clip all that.
last game on the docket, we have Mr. Ryan Holmes's Atlanta Falcons favored by 4.5, going into Las Vegas to play me and Eddie's Raiders over under 44.
Falcons by 1 million.
Yeah, clip
I
that.
hope so.
He's not lying.
Clip
He's
that.
not lying.
I hope so. Honestly, I really do. I'm hoping for 2 interceptions. I am. I'm hoping for 2. And my thought.
Hey, from Kirk or us?
Shit. Actually, you know what? Clip this. There'll be 4 interceptions. There'll be 2 from each quarterback, and then Michael Penix will come in. No, I honestly think that they need to take away Brock Bowers, take him away, put an athletic nickel type guy on him, allow a linebacker to kind of roam and spy where he's at, put some pressure on the quarterback, because we know what happens when Ritter is pressured. It ain't pretty, and he'll throw to the other team. He did it for years while he was in Atlanta. I have to take the Falcons, obviously, but I do think that this will be. It's either going to be it's a make or break game for Kirk. They're not gonna start Penix. We already know they're not gonna start Penix. If it comes out tomorrow and they say they are starting Penix, I think they score more points. I honestly do, because Crosby's going to be hunting Kirk Cousins. He's a statue back there, and this is not a game that you want Max Crosby to be sitting just like waiting, salivating, just like TJ Watt was in the first game, knowing he's just going to be standing there and he's immobile. So if Kirk comes in and he lays an egg in this game, he'll never see the light of day again. He will be a backup with his helmet on the sidelines, just listening to the plays and watching Michael Penix run around all these other teams in these last 3 to 4 games.
And by the way, he'd be an amazing, like he wouldn't check out. Kirk Cousins is the type of dude that I guarantee you now he's helping Michael Penix. That's just who he is. He's an incredible Christian man.
There is a mentorship there that wasn't in Green Bay, like anyone would ever say for any of those other guys. There is a mentorship in Atlanta going on, and I think it's awesome. But man, I agree with what Rafa said earlier on in the show. If at any point you're going to start Michael Penix, it should be this week on the road Monday night, because the stage isn't really going to get. I mean, it'll get bigger, obviously, but starting a guy on Monday night, let him go throw the football around.
Yeah, and Hot Lana will be representing in the Death Star, because that's what happens in Vegas. Is that
I don't know? They might have lost some faith, man. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty when with the fans. They showed their ass when they went to New Orleans and they were running around dancing and shit on Bourbon Street, and then the team ends up losing. So I don't know if they're gonna be showing up in Vegas.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, but. This is my lock of the week. you take the Falcons -4.5. And I don't want my team to tank. And Max is playing for pride, and he is still. Max probably wants to be the greatest. He has it tattooed all over his body, and he is the example of just a professional. So they're not going to go in there and shit the bed. We just don't have, first of all, the coaching. We don't have the desire and the roster to beat Atlanta. It's just not, and Desmond Ridder, God bless him. I hope he has a great game. He's going to be fired up, but he will be riding way too high in emotion. And, 2 interceptions for Gardner Minshew and AOC, that's a good day. If I'm looking at 4 interceptions, because who's the backup at this point? I think it's the receiver who's balling out, by the way, from he's on my
Myers.
Jacoby Myers is our emergency backup.
Yeah, we just
so
elevated a guy from the practice squad, Carter Bradley.
Well, I'm going to give you my take on.
Oh yes,
game.
he's Gus Bradley's son.
Wow, good luck. Listen, I'm gonna give you my take real quick, and we said it earlier when we touched on the Falcons, and we touched on Michael Penix. If Michael Penix starts this game, I think the Falcons win this game easily. If Kirk Cousins starts this game, I believe the game will be close. I really do. I have zero faith in Kirk Cousins at this point, and as a wide receiver on that team, or a part of the offense on that team, how much faith do you still have in Kirk Cousins and his inability to move back there? If he gets hit a couple times by Crosby and they start going, and Ritter's going to be high in emotion, and maybe the guys, you never know, maybe they get around him and get excited for him and keep it close. I think if Kirk Cousins starts this game, I think the Raiders cover. I really do. I strongly believe that. Atlanta has shown the last 4 weeks that offense is just god awful with Kirk Cousins back there. It is horrendous. It is disgusting to watch. So I think they keep it close. Michael Penix starts this game or gets in this game some point in the first half after Kirk Cousins gets fucking hurt by Max Crosby in the second drive of the game. Michael Penix will come in and fucking mop it up and mop the floor with the Raiders there in Vegas. But if
Crosby's a Falcon next year too, by the way.
That would be a dream for everyone.
You heard me. Crosby.
If the only place
he would love Magic City. You know it.
The only place he goes is Detroit. That's the only place that makes sense for him is Detroit. He loves Vegas.
Everyone loves Vegas. That's not the point. I hope Max Crosby is also out of Vegas next year. It's a shame to see that man that good on that shit roster, on that shit team.
Okay,
I'm sure they were trying.
Okay, let's bring this up because I thought about this today. Because I'm already in draft. This we'll end on this. We're at 2 hours. We'll end on this. What do you guys think about this? What if the Raiders and Tom Telesco pull a Houston Texans, draft Shador in first or second, and then you trade a Max Crosby, your first round pick, come back and draft Travis Hunter, sort of like how the Texans got CJ Stroud, and then two picks later took the end from Alabama, Will
Anderson. I think that would be great. That would be amazing. The thing is, who is picking up there? Are you going to trade Max Crosby to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Because that's where that pick is going to be there. Are you going to trade him to the Giants? The Giants don't need him. Although everybody needs a Max Crosby, the Giants have 2 defensive ends that one they just paid and the other one's going to get paid. So the Giants wouldn't be that, and the Giants need a quarterback. So who else is there where you can come right back in to pick Travis Hunter? Who's the 4 pick? Do they need a quarterback? To the Jets. The Jets are going to need a quarterback. So you have to look at all that scenarios before you pull that that movida that you're trying to pull there.
Yeah, I saw Travis Hunter was on Clark's podcast, and it just feels like those two need to go together. Like,
I think it would be great for them to go together. Whether it's
feel that way,
it feels like they should go together, and it would be fucking awesome as the New York Giants.
Ha!
The G-Man, baby. I would become a Giants fan for that shit. And you know I'm not a fan of any team.
Sam Darnold is going to be the Giants quarterback next year.
Who is? I'm sorry?
Sam Darnold.
I think Sam Darnold's going to be the Raiders quarterback next year, especially if he drafts
whoever Sam Darnold goes and plays quarterback for, they will be horrendous. Because
dude,
the guy.
You need to stop. Rafa, you need to stop.
He sucks. He sucks. I'm sorry.
No.
He sucks. He sucks.
No, he has, dude.
You will never move me from that point.
They're on the Lions' heels.
You will never move me from there. I will stand on that for the rest of my fucking life. That guy sucks. Actual cock. I think he is horrendous. Watching him play. Remove him from Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones, and that man is Matt fucking Flynn. Okay? He is Matt Flynn.
Aaron Jones has almost cost the Vikings the last 4 games. He's fumbling like crazy. And saving their ass is Sam Darnold.
Saving their ass because he's costing them beforehand. Dude,
we just both agree that Aaron Jones is costing them.
It's not Aaron Jones. Aaron Donald. I mean, sorry.
Sam Darnold.
Aaron Donald. I apologize for ever.
Don't get those
Sam
two
Darnold.
confused.
My God, dude, Sam Darnold. Watching him play, remove the team that he is on, and he has been atrocious. He is playing with arguably the best wide receiver core in the league.
I think he benefits from the system. I do.
100%.
I honestly do.
Did you
and that's why he's not getting paid right now. Everybody is sitting there saying, why aren't they paying Sam Darnold? And it's because they have that rookie that is behind him, and they know that rookie can come in and be even better. The only reason, look at anywhere else that he's gone.
He's gone to Carolina and the Jets, where quarterbacks go and get it's not fair.
It's certainly not fair.
He has the best receiver core. He has the best receiving core in the league, and he's still turning the ball over. That Sunday night game against the Colts was it was god awful to watch. It really was.
The game was bad.
The first half against Arizona was bad. Like, it's god awful, and that's against Arizona, a terrible defense. The man is god awful.
I'm telling you, he's going to the Giants.
Okay, that Colts game was 6 weeks ago.
There's no way that the Giants make that mistake. And listen, if you're going, I'm 32 GMs out there. Well, 30, probably about 26 or 25 of them. If you go and you sign Sam Darnold and give him any amount of money as a starting quarterback, and I don't hate on people's money, you can give him $20 million. Do not give that man a ridiculous amount of money and believe that he is a starting quarterback in this league for a good team that is going to take you somewhere without a superstar receiving core. I'm sorry. He has proven that he is not that, period. And even with these guys, he's turning the ball over inside the red zone and costing his team. Luckily, his defense is good, and the teams that he's done it again have been absolute shit. Bro, he is throwing to Justin Jefferson, bro.
The reason I say he's going to the Giants is because when you look at the draft, the only quarterback that is there that anybody would want is Shedeur. He's the only one. The rest of these quarterbacks are they're backups. They're backups for at least a couple of years. That's why I think that. Who's that?
Your Florida State hate is showing
a little bit.
Yeah, peeking right now. Your Florida State hate. Cam Ward is a backup quarterback.
Yes.
Woo!
Cam Ward was a backup quarterback before he went to Miami. That has nothing to do with him being in Miami.
He was phenomenal at Washington State. Are we kidding?
He was balling at Washington State.
He was balling at. He was the best quarterback in the transfer portal. If Cam Ward was on Ohio State, Ohio State would be undefeated with 50 points a game, dropping their nuts on everyone.
Go check out his interceptions before he got to Miami.
They're bad at Miami as well. They're horrible.
They're bad at Miami as well. Exactly.
That's
why I say he's a backup in the NFL because he needs to develop. He does, and you know
they all need to develop. They all need to develop. Well, when you take 9 games of Cam Ward's season, those 9 games were Heisman fucking worthy. They were Heisman worthy. They're all the way live. Heisman worthy. He was the best quarterback for
my Florida State Seminoles were 2-10. He failed to throw a touchdown pass against them. Failed to throw a touchdown pass against the 2-10 Florida State Seminoles this year. I'm telling you right now, when he's there, nobody is looking at the draft and saying, yes, we want him to be our starter next year. No one.
For sure.
There's no way.
That's why
I'm
saying that right now.
You're the New York Giants. There's no way that you're the New York Giants and you're going to go and you just went from Daniel Jones. There's no way you're going to go to Sam Darnold, a guy who's been thrown around the league, and now we put him on this stacked offense, the stacked fucking offense, and you're going to give him a bunch of money.
I'm glad we circled back here because Rick Tricksters, Ricky Flores is back in the chat. Michael Brown's in the chat. If they just came on right now and they heard what you're fucking saying and they don't know who we're talking about, you're talking about Brock Purdy, Papa. You're talking about Brock Purdy.
The thing is, the difference with Brock Purdy, Eddie, this is the difference with Brock Purdy, that he's never gone outside of the system that he's in. So he's only played with these players that
That's
he's
an
on.
advantage.
And by the 100%. But the difference with Sam Purdy is, with Brock Purdy is that he got to a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold, I promise you, will lose the first playoff game. He will lose the first playoff game. Guaranteed. Because he's not a fucking winner. He's not a winning quarterback. Sam Darnold is not a winning quarterback in the NFL. I'm sorry. His roster and his defense has been phenomenal. That is the difference between Brock Purdy, who's been to a Super Bowl, by the way, and has much fewer losses with him. We've only seen Brock Purdy in the Niners system. We've seen Sam Darnold in 3 different systems. God awful. God awful.
The 2 worst quarterback systems on the planet.
Yeah, so the other systems were the fucking Jets and Panthers.
Yeah, they were bad systems. The system
they're not the 2 worst.
Yes, the system this year, I think he benefits the most from this system. He has a great play caller in Minnesota. He does. He truly does. You can't refute that.
And the best receiver in the league.
Certainly. I'm not saying that anything about their wide receivers. I'm saying what he is benefiting from first and foremost is he has a great play caller in Minnesota. He's got somebody that is going to get the ball out of his hands and that has a great route tree and gets those guys open. And those guys are awesome wide receivers, so it's not like they need a ton of help, but he schemes them open as well to give him easy throws. He benefits from the scheme that he's in. And you know for a fact that quarterbacks only need 1 year for them to actually get any sort of attention. And I think that 1 year, this 1 year is where the Giants are going to be like, you know what? Because any other player, look in what, Cincinnati, they're not paying their top wide receiver. He needs multiple years in order to prove himself. Quarterbacks, they need 1 year to prove themselves. Just one.
Yes. Matt Flynn, Matt Schwab, the list is endless. This will
exactly.
be that. This will be that. This will be Matt Flynn and Matt Schwab and Sam Darnold, all the same shit.
And so I'm glad that we agree that he will be the Giants quarterback because of this 1 year.
I don't think that the Giants make that mistake.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't, but that's my case.
I don't think the Giants make that mistake.
I
think the Giants are going to draft Shedeur Sanders.
He goes to the Raiders.
Dion does not want his son to start right away. He has said it. I think that Sam Darnold is the Raiders quarterback next year.
No. Dion already said the other day that he wants the Raiders to take him. He literally said it the other day to the Raiders.
Eddie, your case
Antonio
for
Pierce
Sam
at
Darnold,
a fucking meeting.
Listen, first of all, if anybody signs Sam Darnold, it's not going to be for 1 year. Okay, it's going to be for multiple years. It's going to be a deal like Geno Smith got. Okay, and we've seen what Geno Smith does with all that wide receiver talent. He has 14 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and he's got all the talent in the world on the outside as well. And he's got phenomenal running backs behind him. And yes, they're 8-5, but he has 14 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. That is who Sam Darnold is. Sam Darnold is the white Geno Smith.
A better example is Kirk Cousins.
Are you kidding me?
Because of this, because of the contract, not because he will get a 3-year contract because you don't sign anything less than a 3-year contract. He will get, $80 million.
This year he's on a 1 year deal this year, but He's playing to stay in the league is really what it is. And I'm telling you, the scheme that he's in is benefiting him like crazy. And a team like the Giants is going to say, let's take him. And they'll draft a quarterback too. They will draft a quarterback.
Yes.
They will draft a quarterback.
Rick
The
Flores
Giants
said,
Sam Darnold might as well blow it up. Kill
he
yourself.
said Purdy had a strong and healthy team last year that was locked in, so didn't have to do much. This year, had to work for it, and it's showing.
He has no receivers.
It's
Purdy has
facts,
no-
Rick. No, it's facts, Rick. It's facts.
Purdy's going to get paid though.
And it's a
Of
mistake, Ryan. It's a mistake. And I don't think the 49ers, I don't think John Lynch is going to give him $50 million.
No, he's not. He's
the
not.
writing
100%
is
he's not.
on.
He's going to
He'll
give him
give him 30.
No, he's not. He's going to give him 60.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope
so.
not.
I hope so. Why would you do
100%.
that? He can't carry a team, Rafa. If you had a choice to take Dak Prescott or Brock Purdy, who would you take?
I always take Dak because I think Dak's one of the best one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He proved it last year. But Dak also has CeeDee Lamb, a receiver that listen, Brandon Ayuk was never CeeDee Lamb. Debo Samuels isn't Jordan Addison, just so you know that. Debo Samuels isn't Jordan Addison, and he's a fucking raging homosexual with his fucking ridiculous outfits. Okay, so that's just dead ass. So if you look at the wide receiver core that Sam Darnold is playing with, is superior to what the Niners have. Superior. Look at every quarterback in the league that's elite, with the exception of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. They all have elite wide receivers. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. This moron, Justin Jefferson. Tua, he has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And a hell of a Justin Herbert, he's another exception. They got a bunch of turds. Okay, but all the other ones, they have superstars.
You know what? You might be right about Brock Purdy getting 60 or at least 50. You know why? Because of Kirk Cousins. Look at Kirk's deal. Look at Kirk's deal, right? Yeah. And look how he's shit in the bed. He's gonna be like, listen, I'm better than him. Look at my stats. Look what I've done for you in the years I've been here.
He doesn't even need to say it. He went to the NFC Championship game as a rookie, and he got hurt. And if he doesn't get hurt, they probably win that game. Looking at you watch that game in its entirety, and the next year he goes to the Super Bowl. Okay, this year he has an injured running back. Okay, then the backup running back is also now hurt. Kittle gets hurt. So Ayuk gets hurt. Debo Samuels isn't a real wide receiver. He's not even half of Jalen Waddle. So Debo Samuel is a slash. If people want to put Debo Debo ain't it. Okay, Debo ain't it. He's a fucking
3 years ago. 3 years ago he was it.
Debo
3 years ago when Brock Purdy wasn't on the team.
Okay, I hope you're right. I hope they give him. He has proven to be mid as F. He is mid. Go ahead and give Brock Purdy.
Rodgers is mid as fuck this year. Like dude, there's
he's
plenty
below
of
mid.
quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins is below mid. Like, dude, there's endless quarterbacks.
It doesn't mean you give them. Stop doubling down on mistakes. Who's gonna be the GM to say we're not making this fucking mistake over and over again? I believe John Lynch went to fucking Stanford. He's smart. He sees what he sees. This is not a franchise quarterback. Brock Purdy isn't a franchise quarterback. You don't give a mid quarterback $60 to $50 million a year. It would be the biggest mistake.
If Brock Purdy was on the Minnesota Vikings, they would have a better. They would have the same record.
No, we can't do that, Rafa. This is a game that you don't let us play. If you give, you've already seen what Brock Purdy does with the weapons. You've seen it. NFC Championship game and Super Bowl. He's done it. Two different systems, though.
He's done it, but he's done it with the weapons. So you
They're
cannot
going to
say,
pay him.
They're going to pay him. Anybody's going to pay him.
I hope you guys are right.
Because again, look at the draft. Look at the draft. Who are they going to get? Who are they going to get?
It's a bad quarterback.
It's a bad draft. It's a bad draft. He is going to benefit, just like I'm saying Sam Darnold is going to benefit off this 1 year. Brock Purdy will also benefit off this 1 year because Sam Darnold is scheme. Sam Darnold is scheme. Brock Purdy is going to benefit because of this 1 year with a draft. That's what I'm saying. Brock
Purdy's going to benefit because he went to an NFC title game and he went to a fucking Super Bowl.
Yes, but what I'm saying,
3 losses in his first 2 seasons. That's what Brock Purdy's going to benefit from.
Certainly, but what I'm saying is this year, 2024, of it being a bad draft is what he's going to benefit from. Sam Darnold
Dude,
in the
he's
same
getting
year
paid
is going to
no matter
benefit
what.
from a bad draft in this 1 year.
Nobody who goes to a Super Bowl and an NFC title game in their first 2 seasons, and
It's
then
because he had the best fucking roster in the
Dude,
NFL
Eddie,
for 2 fucking years.
and
It wasn't
now
even
he's-
close.
And now
We
he's
can't
just
get
got a
into
bunch of
another Purdy debate.
injuries.
Here's the thing. He will be franchise tagged. That's what you do. But you have to pick in between fucking Trent Williams and him. I guess you let
Trent
Trent
Williams
Williams
is on
go.
the way out. He's almost done anyway.
Yeah, so you franchise tag him and he's gonna get 40 million or maybe more actually.
Probably.
So you
more.
franchise tag him. You buy time
Dude.
and you franchise tag him. How
I
about
hope Brock Purdy comes out tomorrow night, puts the fuck to the Rams, makes the fucking playoffs, gets to the Super Bowl, and then you can clip this shit all over and over and over and over again and play Eddie's fucking clip, and Brock Purdy will drop his nuts on fucking Eddie and collect the highest fucking quarterback contract ever. Because that man went to an NFC title game and a fucking Super Bowl with a healthy roster. Doesn't matter how good it was healthy. This roster he has right now is not healthy.
You want
That's
to
plain
fucking
and simple.
fire? You want to fire the fucking coach? You want to fire the coach?
I do.
But you don't want to
Because
put any blame on fucking Brock Purdy.
I'm not putting blame on Brock Purdy when you blow 3 close games and you blow 3 close leads on your terrible play calling. Yes, I'm not blaming Brock Purdy. I'm not blaming a 30-year quarterback.
I'll keep
that led you to the Super
Shanahan.
Bowl.
I'll keep Shanahan. You keep fucking Purdy.
I hope
How about
Brock
that?
Purdy goes to the Raiders. I hope Brock Purdy goes to the Raiders
And
for
gets
$6 million
paid.
and gets paid. They pay his ass and they fucking draft Travis Hunter because they're gonna fucking win out and they're gonna end up getting the 9 pick and gonna have to trade to the 4 just to get Travis, and you're gonna have to pay Brock Purdy. And I want to see fucking Eddie with Brock
I will
Purdy.
never
Travis
be a
Hunter, and
Raiders
Brock
fan
Bowers.
again. I will never
You
be a
already
Raiders
said
fan
that.
again.
You already said that.
He'll be
Keep
first.
saying it.
He'll be first in line for that Purdy jersey. When does it drop?
I'll get that shit mailed to his house and like the white one, the gray one, an alternate
All
one,
the
the
colors.
Christmas one. Bro, I'll get him underwears with Brock Purdy on the whole shit. Dude, trust me. I want to see it. I want to see it.
All right. Going into our last.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, last segment of the show. We call it the playbook. It's everyone's favorite plays of the week, sponsored by Cut. Find us on there. We're 2 nobodies, and bet against us if you don't like what we're taking.
We're on
Rafael-
the banner. Once
Yeah,
you
we're
go
on the
to
banner
Cut,
now, so we're there.
You directly message us.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to hate? Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to give you my cut bet of the week. I'm going to take the line's 5.5, but I'm going to give you a cut bet. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers +4. I'm going to take away a whole 1.5. I'm going to take the Steelers +4 only. I don't even need 5.5. I'm going to take the Steelers +4 on Cut. Find me on there. 2 Nobodies Ralph. We can bet whatever you want. Send me a message. We'll put it up and we'll put it in. I want the Steelers +4. The line's 5.5. So if you love the Eagles and you think they're going to win, which I don't think they are, because they looked god awful last week against Carolina and they got turmoil in the locker room, I believe, this week. So I'm going to take the Steelers +4 on Cut, KUTT. Download the app, code 2 Nobodies, and I'm 2 Nobodies Ralph. Steelers +4 for whatever you want. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We can do it
Grand.
all. Done. Do
All
it.
right.
Do it.
Do it now. Do it. Okay. Very simple. Very simple. And just to let people know, I said it earlier. There's only one play this week on Cut. This is my Cut lock of the week. Tell me how fat I am. Tell me how stupid I am. Tell me I don't know ball. But the Cut play is this. And come find me, Bosco Ed, on Cut. Give me the Dirty Freaking Birds -4.5. All right. And this is for all the Raider haters right there, baby. Give me the freaking Dirty Birds. Let's get that L, baby. Let's get Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter in Vegas. Do it for Johnny. Give me the Birds.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm Raider fans gonna come look for me and fucking kill me. That was probably
I love
don't clip that.
Flip it all.
Mind you, last week we went 2-0-1, so we were 2 wins, 1 push. my play of the
You're-
week is the Bengals -4 going to Tennessee purely because it's Will Levis and the Titans are 2-11 against the spread. They suck. Bengals offense on fire. They got some life to them after that win.
Man, what an offense.
Is that it,
All right.
guys?
Yeah, I'll just make your guys a separate 1-1. You guys get your own limelight for each video.
Well,
Sounds good.
I want to thank Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes, thank you again. It was a great time. Rafa, the guru, with the Michael Vick. Dude, you got to keep that Vick jersey there, man. That's fire. That is
Maybe if
fire.
Kirk keeps playing bad, Vic will come back.
Dude.
I'd rather
That'd
take
be
Michael Vick right now behind there.
Oh, I would.
Yeah,
But
Mike
let's give a
Vick's
shout out to Matt from North Carolina, Michael Brown with the Hall of Fame comment on Brock Bowers, Ricky Flores. Stay safe out there in Compton, Papa. I just want to thank everybody for your love and support. I still got some Two Nobody sweatshirts. We should do some giveaway so I could send it to people. But Eddie Money and CJ, thanks you guys. Rick, we love you. Anything else? Any other last words, fellas?
Nah.
Right.
NFL steps up when college football is missing this week, which is perfect timing.
All right. I'll see you soon, Mr. Holmes in Nashville, Tennessee. Super excited. Never been there before.
Been there a couple times. It's a good time.
Yes. I've got to go buy some cowboy boots.
Yeehaw.
All right,
Appreciate
guys.
you, fellas.
Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you, Ryan.
Episode
Appreciate it, bud.
112 in the books. Good night, y'all.
Good night.